Hey everybody, welcome. We got another episode of
The obvious
Thank
suspects.
you, because you know how I fucked that up.
Yeah,
The
yeah, I
obvious
got you.
suspects.
We'll get it as a recording and just punch it in every day. The obvious suspects.
But nah, so here we are, episode 2. I'm Matt,
I'm Keo.
and we are the
The
obvious
obvious
suspects.
suspects.
Yes. So, as I said, we're still, as I said the last episode, and in the description of the last episode, we're still trying to put things together,
Yep.
trying to get stuff figured out. And yeah, the openings are rough. I know
Yeah.
the openings are very
Well,
rough.
I'll tell you what. I'll try to get this one going. I've been watching a lot of movies lately.
Yeah,
Me and my girl, since we met during COVID, we found ourselves at home a lot. And when we're home now, we kind of are comfortable at home, because of COVID. So, we watch a lot of movies. Now, granted, we have two different kinds of movies. My girl loves those rom coms. I love a lot of horror stuff and action stuff and like those raunchy comedies. Um,
See, I liked the raunchy comedies like back in the day, but
hmm,
now now not so much. Not a big.
okay,
Yeah, I could do without.
understandable. Raunchy comedies have the beauty of if they're raunchy enough, you'll never forget them and they'll never remake them. They'll never
Yeah,
remake
well they don't
Porky's.
need to.
Yeah, they don't need to. You can always just go back and watch them. Like Porky's will never get remade. Animal House can
Porky
never get
can't.
remade.
No. Porky's can't get remade. Hey, when's the last time you sat down and watched Porky's?
I actually watched Porky's 2 the other day.
The other
I
day.
sure did.
So you're gonna sit here and tell me that in this
Oh yeah,
in
no,
this
there was a
climate,
in this
Porky's will
social
get
climate.
fuck no, Porky's will not
So
get
with
remade.
that being said, I'll ask you this:
All right.
what is some movies that you think should never be remade?
Movies that should never be remade.
Never. That Hollywood should never touch them. Now, granted, now we're saying social climate. We're gonna take that out the window. We're just
Yeah.
gonna say some pure classics here that you think should never be remade. And I do think Porky's is on that list of things that you should never just remake because it's perfect for its time.
Yeah. No, I can understand. I can see that. For me,
Sure.
I mean, I'm a classics fan, so I mean, like, don't touch like Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
Okay.
Um, Falcon and the Snowman. We're on the subject of not, so I can't say that. That'll be a should be remade.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. I see that in a little bit.
yeah, Falcon and the Snowman. It's a good like spy thriller ish one. Um, like, I think War Games. I think War
Okay.
Games. War Games should not be remade because with Matthew
Okay.
Broderick, that one was good.
Okay.
I have quite a few. I have obviously there's a lot more, but just off the top of my head, like trying
Yeah.
to think of some. So yeah, what about
I
you?
think war movies are a little harder to remake. You should never really dabble in remaking too many of those
Well,
war movies.
War
I
Games.
know they
War
have
Games
some.
wasn't a War Games wasn't a war movie.
Is that only thing I know of war games is the Jason Statham film. So I
Yeah,
don't think
no,
we're talking about
no.
the
War
same movie.
Games is not a no. War Games has Matthew Broderick in it, and it's about the computer game NORAD versus Whopper.
Oh yeah. I remember that
And
movie.
it's a movie that was made into a video game,
I got
and it's about this kid that gets his hand on this. He's a hacker. Matthew Broderick is a hacker, and he stays small, but like he just knows computers. Like first, he does like he hacks into his school to change his grades and shit like that.
you. Gotcha. Uh-huh.
But he gets access to NORAD, the 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 fucking government the government facility that's here. You know what NORAD is, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, so he gets access to that and he starts doing this war game, but the computer is also still communicating with the NORAD. I forgot. I can't remember where the hell NORAD is. It's in the mountains. I just forgot what state it's in. I think it's like Colorado or some shit like that.
Okay.
And it's still communicating with that computer. And all of a sudden, people start freaking out. Like all of a sudden, shit gets sent into like the DEF CON starts changing, the defense condition starts changing, and it's just a bunch of wild shit. So if you haven't seen it, it's an older movie, but
Okay.
it's still good.
I
But
swear I've seen a movie like that called Terminal Entry, where these kids had a computer game they thought was a computer game, but it wasn't a computer game. It was actual like military tech, and they had somehow stumbled upon it, like, and they thought they were just playing this game in this apartment or whatever, but they weren't. They were like really doing world shit, and I don't know what happened in the end because it had boobies in it, and it was an old movie, and my mom said I couldn't watch it. So as soon
oh
as boobies came up, I lost the story. I have no idea what
damn,
happened. And I remember we had the tape, but I was too scared to pop it in because if the titties popped back up and anybody caught me, I was in a whole lot
oh.
of trouble. So I think as far as movies that should never be remade, war movies are very hard because you could never remake Glory. You can't remake that movie. It's perfect for where it was. You think they can remake Glory? No, there was too
It's a
many
war movie.
great actors, too many great actors, too many great performances. Matthew Broderick, Denzel Washington, Morgan Freeman, the fucking captain from Brooklyn Nine Nine. I just don't know his name, but that guy,
Oh, that's right. He was in
he,
there, wasn't
he is, and he does a
he?
great job. I think he was perfect for his role. I think they casted him perfectly. It's a good movie, you know, and I don't think you can remake a lot of those war movies. Like what's that one with Mel Gibson that they did? Now that
Oh
one
my
you probably
God.
could remake. Not Tears of the Sun. What is that
That's
one?
Tears of the Sun.
That's Bruce Willis.
Yeah, that's
That's
Bruce
that's
Willis.
that's pretty.
What the fuck was the name of that movie? Why am I blanking?
It's in
It had what's his name in it? The Joker. It
I
had
can't remember.
oh my God, it had Heath Ledger in it. It had
All I know is that I saw that movie, and the
what the
reason I
fuck
didn't
is the
like it
name
is
of
because every time somebody was died, somebody stood up and was like, "All right, man, we're gonna get out of here," and he died. And then it'd be like, "Yeah, all right, cool, cool, I'm in charge now. This is what we're gonna do." He died. Every guy that Mel Gibson sent into war fucking died.
You're not
If you knew
talking.
his
Are you
name,
talking about the Revolutionary War movie?
no, no, that's the
Oh,
Patriot.
that's what I was thinking of. What movie were
Nah,
you talking
it's
about?
nah, it's the one where he's like the general, and they're trying to. It's like Vietnam or something, and like
We were
yeah,
we were
we
soldiers.
okay, yeah, we were soldiers.
Yeah.
You could probably remake that.
Well,
Um,
that's a real. Of course you can remake it because that's a
yeah,
real
because it's
event.
yeah, yeah,
Landing Zone X-ray is a
mm,
real. That's the first
yeah,
engagement in the Vietnam War.
yeah, and it didn't go very well.
Well, no, because they did no. All right, so to give you an idea, no army in the history, as far as I know, no army in history has gone in and conquered. Same like with Afghanistan and the Middle East. No army in the world yet has gone in there and conquered them because the terrain, and they go in with the dumbest tactic of hearts and minds. You're gonna invade a country and then go, we're gonna win over the people. We're gonna win over their hearts and minds. No, no invader is ever gonna win the people over. It's just not gonna happen. But that's what happened with the French in Vietnam War. The French were also stupid arrogant. They were like, oh well, we will. I'm doing German, but
Yeah,
it's like,
like
we will go in and we will conquer these poor farmers. And these people are like they underestimating, and that's kind of what the U.S. did. That's what the French did, and that's what happened. They win it. The Americans went in, and they were like, oh well. Obviously, it's a dangerous situation. I don't think everybody underestimated them, but where it mattered, leadership and all that good stuff, severely underestimated the power that these people have and the will that they have to fight for their fucking homeland. And that's why it was so devastating, was because they also landed where they were also coming out of the fucking mountains. Like, it's the same with Iwo Jima. Like, you fucking
yeah,
lay down unholy hell on the fucking mountain, but it's a fucking mountain. Like,
yeah,
you're not gonna beat natural cover.
yeah.
You're just not. But sorry, I
Yeah, no, I let you go. I truly think, as far as movies go, movies that they should never remake. My personal choice. Now, this is me. I sat through all that about war stuff. It's fucking Ladybugs. Never touch that film. Ladybugs. You want me to tell you? Ladybugs with Rodney Dangerfield, and I think it's one of the Lawrence brothers, or it's that one guy who was in all those movies back in the 80s. Ladybugs. He's like a guy. He's like an executive or something like that for this really powerful mogul guy, and his the mogul guy owns his own um, girls soccer team, and he convinces his stepson to join said girls soccer team so they'll win, so he'll get a promotion, and he has to pretend to be a girl on the girls' soccer team. Yeah, hold on. He has to be a girl on the girls' soccer team to so that they win, and he could get a he doesn't get fired. And it's like this whole elaborate scheme that they only know about, and he's a pretend a girl, and the girls think he's a girl, and everybody thinks he's a girl. I don't think they should touch that film for several reasons, and it's not the social climate of today. It's not. I don't think they should remake that movie because I think that's Rodney Dangerfield's best film.
Yeah.
And I think now, granted, there's probably people think the one like Think Back to School or some other shit's probably his best film, but that was the one I saw the most as a kid, and I liked it the most.
Yeah.
Um, I think that's where they should just kind of like leave that film alone and just kind of let that be. I just don't think you could remake it, and it would just I don't think you could. But I do see that if they remade it today, how that movie would go, and it's whatever. It'd be very political, and I think they would just kind of like really array the message of I think the message when I saw it, the message was a stepfather and a stepson having a bonding moment, I guess, because in the end they became closer in
Yeah.
the end, and I think that was really cool. And he found like love. The young boy found love and everything, and he found a girl that he liked, and she was like this rich girl who was like kind of like a homebody, and he was kind of like her little wild, crazy boyfriend now. So I think that was gonna be cool. That was a good little message about like perseverance and all that good stuff, and women's sports is important, but I do know how that will go now, and I think it'd be kind of hard to make
It'd
today,
be very difficult.
because how is that ending gonna go?
It's,
But
so I lied. Ha ha.
yeah, and then some
Sorry.
people be like, well, it's okay, and yada yada. It's a whole thing. But it's I'm not making that film, but I don't personally wish they would have. But I've been saying that for years before we got to where we are now that they shouldn't remake that movie because it was one of my favorites as a kid, and I think it was perfect.
Yeah.
That and I don't think they should make a Wishmaster.
Ooh.
Which one, Macaulay Culkin?
Page
Little
Master?
boy goes. Is it Page Master or
Yeah,
Wishmaster?
Page Master.
Yeah, Wishmaster is a horror film.
Yeah, that's why I was like,
Not bad. Not bad. They could do that one again. I wouldn't be too mad about that.
yeah, Page
Speaking of
Master.
horror films,
Good.
that makes you ask you the question of what's a movie you think they should remake?
Oh, movies they should remake?
I've always said A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah, they did. They have been remaking the
Yeah, but it was hot garbage. Do it again.
You thought it was hot garbage?
I did not like.
Really?
It was the same movie. Like,
Well,
okay,
yeah,
so
that's what
here's
a
my
remake
thing.
is.
Nah, buddy. Here's my thing. It was not a remake. I thought it was a reboot. Okay, that's what it needed. It didn't need a remake. It needs a reboot. Okay,
Yeah,
so
so
don't
kind of like
remake
how
the
the Evil
same.
Dead is.
Yes, kind of like how Evil Dead is. How those aren't remakes. Those are reboots because it was completely different than the first film, but the same premise happens,
Yeah.
which works for me.
Well, except
I
for
think they should
Evil Dead, the first remake Evil Dead was
Actually, I thought it was
kind of
great. I think it was funny when it wasn't supposed to be.
well,
It
not
was it was terrifying. It was a
yeah,
good movie, but it wasn't like I wasn't jumping out of my seats like, oh, scary. I was like, oh,
like
this if this happened, I'd be like, holy shit, if this
shit.
happened.
Well, that's why
It's a crazy experience.
did you watch the one that just came out?
Oh yeah,
Did you watch the previous one that Eli Roth did?
yeah, the first one,
The
first remake.
where it took place in the house. Yeah, that was almost
Yeah.
a shot for shot.
Well, okay, cool. He kept the
Almost.
premises, and
Almost.
he switched it. Now it wasn't a guy, it was a girl, and it was
It was a
good.
girl. It was a girl in the first one, in the originals.
Oh yeah, it was a girl. I keep
Yeah.
thinking it's a guy in the first one.
Nope. It
It's
was a
his
girl.
girlfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's his girlfriend, and then she gets dragged to hell or something. He has to go get her, right? And that's the second one.
Nope.
That's not the second one.
Nope. Second one is it's a more of a comedic. So the first one was kind of like it seemed more like a school project.
Okay.
Um
I feel like I've seen it, and it was just kind of like different, so I
Yeah.
didn't keep watching it.
the first one was more of like a school project. The second one was a remake with more of a comedic. It was literally took place in the house as well. Like it was just more had more of a comedic turn to it. And then the third one, Army of Darkness.
Darkness. Yeah, that's the one where he's like going to go get her.
Yeah, but it wasn't in hell. He just goes into like some sort of time thing and he goes back in
Okay.
time and shit like that. It was weird. Um and so you had 1, 2 and 3 and then you have the remake. Well, then you have the TV show Ash
Yeah,
versus
yeah,
the
yeah.
Evil
It was just
Dead.
Evil Dead. Yeah,
And then
the remake movie.
now you have the remakes where it took place at the house in the woods. Took place in the house in the woods. A lot more gory and a lot more
Yeah,
like which I thought was really good. I mean, because and I think what Eli, I think all of these are Eli Roth, and I think even the first one was no Sam Raimi, not
yeah.
Eli
But
Roth,
I
Sam
keep thinking
Raimi,
of Sam Raimi. I
Sam
was like, it's not
Raimi.
Eli Roth.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I was
Yeah,
thinking to myself, did he do it? I thought it was the same
nah,
thing.
I get. They're both good directors. I like them both.
Yeah, yeah,
And as an actor, Eli Roth as an actor when he was in fucking Inglorious Bastards, when
yeah.
he played the bear
I think he
Jew.
played. I think he plays his role quite well.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put him as a star in anything, but I'd let
Oh
him
yeah,
play
no,
his
no, no,
little
no,
like
no.
cameos. He's about as good as Quentin Tarantino is in the movie.
Yeah, he's good for cameos. Like again, you
Well,
should
no, Quentin Tarantino was pretty good in he did a good job in
Reservoir
from
Dogs.
Dust from Dust Till Dawn.
That's right, he wasn't from Dust Till.
Yeah.
I didn't like him so much. I liked him in.
I thought he did a great job as the psychopathic little brother who wasn't quite right in the head, and the other guy was a bank robber, and his brother was a sociopath, and what was wrong with him? He had like mental issues.
Another thing to add from the previous one: none of the Quentin Tarantino movies. Leave those alone.
Um,
No, 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 no. You leave those
okay,
alone.
okay. You
Those
say
are
so. I truly think they can make like Jackie Brown again, and just
why.
keep it shot for
Why would
shot.
you want to meet? Why would you want to remake Jackie Brown? Jackie Brown was a fucking solid movie.
Okay, well you say they shouldn't do it. I
From
think they can
credit
make
to
Jackie Brown.
credit, like tell me why
I
you
love
think it
Jackie
needs.
Brown.
Tell me why you think
That's
it needs.
because they could. They could just do it again.
With who? Who are you gonna get to play? Who are you gonna get to play Jackie Brown? Who are you gonna get to play the part that
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who they get. If the story's so good, you could just remake it. Now they could do that. Dude, Hollywood does that shit all the time. We just got another fucking Indiana Jones.
yeah, they
They
should have
didn't
done that.
need to make another
No,
Indiana Jones.
no, they shouldn't
They
have.
didn't.
I know they should
Like
have
he can't
stopped.
keep fighting the Nazis. They didn't last that damn long. Like he's been fighting the Nazis for like 60 years. Come on now.
Remember Kingdom of the Crystal Skull only came out. It was supposed to be set in the 50s, so that's only 10 years.
Okay, cool, cool. Well, in this newest one, he's old as dirt.
But it's
He's
probably
still
another
fighting
10
the
years.
Nazis.
It's probably only another 10. So now
Yeah,
it's like the
so
60s.
it doesn't make any sense. So yeah.
Yes. So yeah, those
So
movies
yeah,
should.
you could just do it. You could just churn it out. So yeah, any Quentin Tarantino film you could just churn out again. They'll do Reservoir Dogs and make them all chicks. They
No,
will.
I wouldn't watch
They
it.
will. And
I would not participate.
it'd be the Cats at the Reservoir or some shit like that.
I would not
And they would-
participate. It's the same when they did. Wow, we have a lot more movies to discuss about not being remade. I didn't think about.
They don't need to make another Terminator.
They
Stop
don't.
remaking that.
They don't need to They should not have remade Ghostbusters. The women one.
The
The
newest
women
one.
one.
Okay,
The women one
yeah.
was fucking stupid.
Now, if they had done it right and kind of made it not so funny, now kind of making it too funny was the problem. Like it didn't it lose the horror aspect of the first one tag. Because when I first saw Ghostbusters as a kid, it kind of scared the shit out of me a little bit. But
It
then
had
was kinda
moments.
funny.
It had
Yeah,
moments.
it had its scary moments. But the newest one, I didn't feel had scary moments. It was just a little too far over the top for me. Like it was like cool, like they are fighting ghosts, which is weird because girls are ghost hunters, I guess. But I don't know about girl Ghostbusters.
Oh,
But you know.
they were just bad actors and they weren't funny. That's like
Yeah, I think they were trying too hard to be
or
funny.
actresses. Yeah.
Actually, well, nope, no, they're actors. That's a gender neutral word, actor.
Oh, okay.
So,
But yeah, no, they just weren't funny. They weren't. They. It's hard to not like. Again, it's you hear the same the stereotype that women in comedy really aren't the best. Not saying all women, but because there are some women that are funny.
I
There
don't
are
think.
some women that are funny. Like
I
I
think
have.
you can write. I think you can write women to be funny in anything. It doesn't matter what it is. You can write a woman to be funny. I just think in this movie particularly, they took people who are already funny, and just tried to throw anything out there to be funny, and it just wasn't funny. Like I didn't, and then honestly, my biggest thing about it was the animation on it. There's so much hype and publicity this movie got for the animation to be like humorous, damn near cartoonish. It wasn't scary. Like
Yeah.
I wanted fear. Now we're a little more desensitized than we were since the '80s, and I want my fear. I want to be like, oh shit, that's scary
Like,
looking.
god damn.
Yeah, and I didn't get that.
Yeah.
Now then they did remake it the one with the kids, and I thought that was great, and that was more girlish than the typical because the first one had no girls as Ghostbusters, and then this one, it's
It had
two
a
two
female.
girls,
It had a female lead, which is
which
still
was awesome.
yeah, which is I mean, which is good. Like I mean, but they've been doing that since fucking Hunger Games. Like when Hunger Games started coming out is when
Yeah,
they started
yeah,
really
yeah.
pushing the female heroine. Like which is fine. Even I had a little bit of an adjustment period. I was like, why are they making all these fucking women? Like what is this? Like what? Like it was the same thing that you meant. I don't know. I think it was you who mentioned it, but we had a conversation about how movies now are starting to turn white people into the bad guy. Where it's like where I can't remember if it was you who had this who I had this conversation with or somebody else,
Well,
but
it's more American like because usually it's always back in the '80s. This wasn't me, but we can talk about it.
yeah,
In the '80s, it was always like a Russian guy or like a German guy before that,
yeah,
and then for a
now
while
it's
there in the 2000s, it was more like a Middle Eastern guy or sometimes you get an Asian guy. It'd be really, really, really unique. And now they're just kind of getting to the more domestic terrorists in movies, where like it's always somebody who's like from here, pissed the fuck off.
yeah.
Like let's look at I can't say the Fast and Furious movies because they've gotten out of it now, but it started out. Um, Actually, no, it's never been a Fast and Furious. It's always been some international terrorist guy.
Yeah.
But I think now in certain movies, like it's always like the guy that they got to catch who was like a spy or something like that. I look at like that movie that The Rock and what's his name?
Kevin Hart.
Ryan Reynolds
All
put
right.
out. Yeah,
Who
that Rick Red something, Code Red or something like that, or
was that? That was The
it's
Rock,
Red
wasn't it?
something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was actually good. That was funny. I liked it.
great movie, great.
Yeah.
The Rock low key puts out some good ass movies,
Yeah.
and they keep giving him shit like, "Oh, it's just The Rock. It's not that good of a movie." No, I thought Baywatch was great.
Yeah.
I
That
thought
well,
that shit
Baywatch was
was funny.
fantastic. Baywatch
That shit was
is great.
funny. Why have they not remade that movie?
Well, because they
Not
just
remade,
did
but
it.
add a sequel to it. No, give me a sequel to that because it's
I
been
w-
long
yeah.
enough for this to give us a sequel to fucking Baywatch.
I think well,
Even if you're not gonna put Zach or Efron in it,
yeah.
put somebody else in it. Like it's
Which
funny.
they could easily put Zac Efron back in it, and it'd be
They fucking put John Cena in it and make it funny as shit.
oh yeah.
No, I think we gotta have a. We've already had one movie so far where John Cena and The Rock are in together. That's one.
Which one was that?
Fast and Furious.
John Cena was in.
Yeah, he plays Dom's half brother or some shit like that.
Did he really?
I think that's the latest one.
Oh, yeah. I
I
stopped
haven't seen
watching.
the latest one
I
yet.
stopped.
I've seen,
Honestly, stopped watching them after after Tokyo Drift, and I was like,
no, I've watched them all. So, not gonna lie, bro, it's like 13 of shit. It
it's,
feels like, but I've
it's
watched
tough,
them all.
man. It's tough to watch.
Apparently, these are the last three though. They're not gonna do any more.
Last three, they should.
Yeah,
It's three too many.
they're gonna write. They're writing a story right now, and this is it. It's
They've made 9 too many movies. Like it's like after Tokyo Drift, they should have stopped. But
Nah, dude, Tokyo Drift was like one of the worst ones.
what? Tokyo Drift was
Yeah,
not
bro.
the worst one.
I'll give you one line from that whole movie that made me say I don't like this.
What's
stuff.
that?
It's when the dude was like, "Yeah, he's DK. What's a DK mean?
Was DK
Oh,
man?
it just means
Drift
drift
King. Yeah.
Hold on. The next line made me want to cut the whole movie off. What's a drift? Hold on, time out. You're a racer. And you don't
No,
even know what drift
he
is?
is a drag racer. He
Okay,
may not
cool.
he may not have known about drifting. Drifting
Hold
was
on,
not a
time
common.
out.
Again,
And then
this is
and then like hold on. And then the whole concept was I'm gonna go to this one Japanese dude who just magically is like, yeah, I'm gonna teach this kid how to be the best drifter in the whole world.
yeah.
Why?
Cause
For what
it's
reason?
in case he wants to learn. What's wrong with learning? What's wrong with
Man, you tell man.
what? What's wrong with drifting? Drifting is a
I just the fact that
fantastic.
he went what's a drift, and I
What's
was
a
just like,
Because he didn't know. He didn't know what a drift
come
was.
on, bro. I was a kid. I'm a guy who knows nothing about cars. and I know what drifting
But you
is.
play
Oh,
video
I think
games.
because of video games, I think I can do it. Granted, I can't Vin Diesel. Everybody thinks they can Vin Diesel. I'm not Vin Diesel, but I try to Vin Diesel. Okay,
What if you think you can do it? What you
and I
should
can do it in a golf cart.
okay, do it in a golf cart. You do it in a car doing close to whatever miles per hour. But
Hey, that's like 70 miles an hour.
that's
It
fucking
can be
fast.
done. It
Okay,
could be
so
done.
what you need to do. So here's what I recommend that you do. We're gonna get back onto the movie thing. I know we jump around a lot, but we're after this. We'll make a switch back. Go to YouTube.
Uh-huh.
Look up a foot pedal cam of a professional drifter.
Oh, I've seen it. Oh, I've seen it.
I
I know I've
dude,
seen it.
I fuck you. Like fuck you if you think I know I can't do it.
It's like playing drums, bro. It looks like playing drums. And man, it does. It's like you just got to know where both your feet are at all times and what they're going to be doing. That's what it just seems like. You got to just
It's
keep
the
swearing.
for
And
me it
on the rhythm of your car, I swear it looks like that. Now, granted, I don't do it,
yeah, it's what it looks
but I
like.
feel like I can. But I look like I can. Like, man, I could do that. But I'm one of
Yeah.
those weird people, I play with guitar, and I'm one of those weird people. If I don't know if I can play that shit, but if I watch you do it, I'm like, man, my fingers can do that.
Like I think I can do that.
I can do that. Granted, I probably can't, but I've learned a lot of fucking songs on that same premise. Like
Yeah.
when I'm like, I don't fucking know how to play "Knocking on Heaven's Door." Just last night, didn't know how to play it. Watched somebody play and was like, that's not that fucking. And I can, and I swear to God, I can kind of play "Knocking on Heaven's Door" now. Kind of. Jumping from that one chord to the other chord that I don't know what it is. It gets really hard. But yeah, and that's a movie I think they should stop making.
Yes.
Stop making Fast and Furious films. Stop making Indiana Jones films. Stop making. Heard they're making more Harry Potter. Just let Harry Potter die. Just let it die, bro. Dude, just let it die. It's not worth it anymore. Like,
Well, the wizarding
I, I'm,
the wizarding world is pretty fucking dope. Like I think you have a lot of what's the they're big words I'm trying to think of that are good for it. You have a lot of creative options when it comes to the wizarding world because you can create
okay,
so
so
many like
you can just make up a bunch of new shit. I got it. And that's the only thing I say about Harry Potter is beautiful is because it's not like Lord of the Rings, where Lord of the Rings is you really can't go but so far because it's one story and it was written such a long time ago that you can't be like, yeah, no, we're gonna add more shit to it. So Harry Potter has the ability to add whatever the fuck they want to, and it can still be canon to Harry Potter.
yeah. Well,
Um,
Lord of the I think you can I would like to see this is me. I would agree if you had Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter worlds and it's like we can only choose one to continue making stories. I would agree with you wholeheartedly. Stop doing the Harry Potter ones and do more of Lord of the Rings because it's the world that it takes place in. The fantasy world that it takes place in is what gives you the stories. Obviously, the Wizarding World you can add whatever the hell you want. God, sorry, my nose itches. You can add whatever you want, but same premise with Middle Earth. You can easily do more stories about the dwarves. You can do more stories about the elves. You can do more stories about the humans coming to Middle Earth. And just a bunch of stuff like that. I'll keep it short.
okay, I get you. They talk about stuff in Lord of the Rings, and it would be pretty cool to see like the war before
Yeah.
all of that. Like not even in the Hobbit, they don't go to the war. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, that's
In the
because the
Hobbit, it's
war.
after the war. So,
Yeah, yeah, and that's why I would like to see more of the Silmarillion stuff. But that's just
but at the same time, like they could do all that stuff in the next 10 years. We could have the whole Lord of the Rings universe, right? They could totally do it.
yeah,
And but then you can only go but so far. It's something like Star Wars. Even with Star Wars, like how much more can you go, bro? Like you really can't keep going. And they're
yeah.
gonna try.
No, I know
They
it's
are
money.
going to try.
It's because.
Even
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
money. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
Money. That's what it is. Look at Pirates of the Caribbean. How many more of those can we make?
not can't be can only be but so much.
Sure.
Um, yeah, it can only be but so much. But it's because they've looked at how much money they keep how much money they make. Exactly, it's a sometimes some of these movies are cash grabs. These the Final Fantasy movies, fucking or Final Fantasy movies, Fast and the Furious movies. Sorry, I had FF in my head, and
I was thinking about Final Fantasy movies. There's been like two of them, and only
yeah,
one of them was good.
yeah. I had. Oh, you talk. Yeah, that's right. They did do. What the fuck was that? What was the first one they did?
The first one was like
The animated one. The
they're both
Spirits Within.
animated.
Final Fantasy:
Yeah,
The
the
Spirits
Spirits
Within.
Within. That was not very
It
good.
was not,
But the
but
other one, the Final Fantasy VII one, I forget what it was called right at this point.
I
I
never
want to say
even.
Advent. Is it Advent Children? I think it's Advent Children. That was good. That was a nice little like sequel to the game
Yeah.
Final Fantasy VII without having to have a whole game for it. You know, it didn't need a whole game, but it was pretty cool seeing all these characters that didn't have voices
Yeah.
get voices.
It's like,
That was
oh
cool.
shit.
Some of those voices I didn't agree with, but they were good. You know, and shouts out to all voice actors out there, man. I know your job is kind of hard, but honestly, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Uh, so but I think they should. There's some movies they should just let die, and maybe like 10 years from now, 20 years from now, then bring them back out. But I don't need another Terminator.
No.
I don't need another Star Wars. I don't need another. I don't know. Honestly, I kind of at this point I don't need another random Marvel show. They're putting too many random
Yeah.
shows out. Like
Well,
that's so many I haven't fucking seen.
there's a so it's funny that you mentioned that. This kind of goes into the YouTube world of which is something I think we'll also go into as well at some point. But this guy that I watch, Eddie Burback, he just did something like 2 weeks ago about it. It's like Marvel. What's the word when you're just like exhausted? Marvel. Fuck it, I don't care. But it's Marvel fatigue. That's what it is. It's just a Marvel fatigue. Like you had Phase 1 and 2 were good. Like they had because it was new, it was fresh. So all of a sudden, you got Iron Man, okay, so you know more about comic books than I do.
Mhm.
I don't know. I get my information based upon the movies that I've watched.
Okay.
But but Iron Man was never that big of a character. And then
Really?
that's what I'm thinking is that he was never that big of a character. Like he was a big character, but he wasn't as big.
Iron Man's that dude, bro.
And then when the
Really?
movies came out, yes, he became that guy. He became
Nah,
him. Like
he's always been that dude. Like really, like those stories are kind of those stories in the comics. I mean, in the movies, aren't far from what the comics talk
yeah.
about. Because Iron Man really is that guy.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
Tony is really that dude. And there's a comic that even says that he's not even human. Like he's
Oh
like
God.
really, yeah, he's like an alien, but they don't know. He's like a baby. He's kind of like a Superman almost. He's a baby that that the Stark family took in, and he made himself look like the Starks. But I don't know if that was true. That could be like
Yeah,
another
and
universe
I'm sure that's another episode. So we could probably talk
The
for
one thing
hours
that's
about
the,
Marvel and shit like that.
the one thing about Iron Man that I think that they don't do in the movies and that they should is that Iron Man has a huge drinking problem.
Does he really? Oh, they did.
Yeah,
He was constantly drinking.
you know that he doesn't have a problem with it. He has an anxiety problem in the movies.
Yeah.
But no, in the comics, he's like a drunk, and that's the best part. Like he's
Okay.
human. Like no matter, that's the most human thing about him. And that's what
Yeah.
I liked about Iron Man.
All right, but yeah,
Um,
that's something we can cover. We can definitely cover that.
yeah,
in another
we'll
one.
go into Marvel one day, Marvel and DC.
Um, say what
But
we're doing movie. Yeah, they shouldn't
yeah,
like done with like the Marvel fatigue. Like they need to stop. The problem that they're doing with the movies is that they pumped out those TV shows. Like they were I forgot what the order was, but they put out the movies, or they finished filming the movies before they finished the TV show, or they finished filming the TV show before I forgot what the fuck it was, but it's one of those combinations where the movies aren't matching up with what we saw in the TV shows.
yeah,
Because
and they should just stop doing that. They
yeah,
should just stop trying to intertwine the shows with the movies, unless they're gonna do like I think what they did with Jessica Jones and Luke Cage and Iron Fist and stuff, where it really didn't have too much to do with what was going on in the main universe.
Yeah.
Like they knew that it existed, they knew that the big heroes were out there, but they always kept thinking themselves as like B heroes or whatever. And that was the best thing about those shows because it didn't really have any kind of consequences or anything. If they fucked up and they had to wait till the next season to resolve their problem, it didn't really affect Iron Man. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Jessica Jones having to fight anybody, and it wouldn't have anything to do with what's Iron Man's going on. It's
Yeah.
too neighborhood. It was more neighborhood Spider-Man territory.
That's a
And even Spider-Man's just like the neighborhood hero who kind of goes and fights with the big hero.
yeah.
That's who Spider-Man is. He's your neighborhood Spider-Man who fights in the big one. Speaking of Spider-Man, I don't want to say not to remake another Spider-Man film. Yes, please make another Spider-Man film.
Yes.
But I don't. I'm just tired of all these like Spider-Man villain films. Like Craven the Hunter's coming out, and I know everybody's like, "Well, it looks good," but I'm so. Why are villains getting films now? Why are you
Cuz
glorifying the bad guy?
because people relate to villains because a lot of the villains have a relatable thing. Who doesn't get mad and want to start and again, we have like a lot of people have a conscience and it prevents a lot of times it prevents people from becoming the bad guy, but villains have a relatable attribute about them or a relatable reason as to why they started doing the thing that they did. Unless you're just like Alien. Like look at I know I'm going back, but look at Thanos. Thanos had a like people can relate. Like there's too many people, all these resources getting used up. Like we're gonna destroy our own world, and Thanos was like, I'm not gonna let you do that. It's just he had delusions of grandeur where he's like I am your god, and I'm doing what's best, but what's best for him isn't best for everybody else, and he thinks he's doing people a favor when in fact he's just hurting people. But that's why I think that it's just villains are relatable. I've looked at villains before and I'm like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I get that. Like I saw the Joker, whatever, and I saw that that was a case of mental illness and yada yada,
No,
which
we're
is
not talking
you know.
about that. We're not talking about
Well,
that
no, but even in
reality.
that film, like I get it. Like in that Joker movie, that was kind of what it was. It was like, okay, cool, he's a victim of mental illness, and society has cast him aside, and yada yada yada, blah blah
What
blah. We
mental
should take
illness?
care
He
of
didn't have a
people.
mental illness. He was just fucking. He was crazy, and he just fucking.
That's mental illness, bro.
Mm,
Crazy is mental illness.
yeah,
No matter how you slice it, if you're crazy, I don't care what you do. From you just have like scary thoughts every now and then, or you're full on going out there hacking up people, and yeah, you have mental illness.
yeah,
Not saying that you should get a pass because of it, but they should be aware that that's what that is. I think mental illness isn't one of those things where you like. It's like a some people wear it as a badge of honor. It's not a badge of honor. It's just a thing that we have to deal with in human existence. Like
yeah,
everybody's going to deal with anxiety and things that affect the mind because the mind is imperfect, so it has issues. So that's fine. Everybody's going to have that. And I think once we are aware of it, we can deal with it, and we can learn from it, and we can learn how to handle it and deal with it. But some people just wear it as a badge of honor, and and that's okay. But we should you don't hurt shun people like that, not like that.
no,
You gotta understand that that's just what it is. It's something that we should just live with this society. And that movie was a prime example of us as a society not casting those people away. Like people who need help should get help, and it shouldn't be something that you have to pay for or something that you should have a social status for, a social status for, because that didn't come out right.
well, no, I definitely am a firm believer in paying for it because I want if I'm giving my money to something,
Mhm.
I want that person to give me I want the person that I'm paying to give me 100% of their ability.
I got you.
Like if
So
go ahead.
I look at this. I look at what you're saying the same way as I look at um, tampons. I think tampons should be free. I think I know. Look, I know. I feel like I went left, but hear me out. Hear me out. I know it sounds like I went super left, but hear me out. I feel mental illness and tampons could be the same exact thing. Like I feel like feminine products should be free. Like as far as menstrual products, they should be absolutely free and available for women to be able to get at all times in every bathroom. in every rest station, in every restaurant. They should be everywhere for women to have access to them. And I don't think they should cost much. But I think if you want a fancy one, and I don't mean just like in America, I mean the whole world. Because there are parts in the world where women can't get things like that, and that's hard to get. So I feel like it should become a world thing where we should make it very common that women get those kind of things for free. Now I feel like if a woman wants a fancy one, maybe one that has wings or pearls or whatever the fuck that shit is, they should have to go to the store and buy it. But I feel like there should be a very basic
Yeah.
one that if you're in a jam or if you just can't afford to get anything, that you should be able to get those. And I feel like that's how it should be. Like, I'm a guy, I don't know shit about it, but I feel as a guy, my feminine side said that there should be something like that, for free for women. And I guess it probably is, but
As
I
I was
don't
saying,
know
I
if it
don't
should
know.
be worth a damn.
I haven't spent a whole lot of time in women's bathrooms, so I don't know.
Yeah, I
I
don't
can
know.
only, but
Yeah,
here's what the only thing I can assume is in men's bathrooms, they had, remember when they had like the machines in there that you could, it's like a quarter where you, something as simple as like getting condoms, like where you put like a quarter or some
yeah.
shit in there. Like I I guess we'd need a woman to tell us if they had something like that. Which I believe. Why
True.
wouldn't they? Like, because
Well, I
for
think
a
they did,
quarter,
but
like,
what if you can't afford it? What if you're like a homeless person who has no money, but you're a woman and you're on your menses? Like you shouldn't have to like
yeah, obviously
suffer
yeah,
because you don't have it,
yeah.
or have to go to stand in some kind of weird line or something,
And we're gonna have
or have to go to some clinic just to get tampons. You should be able to fucking just get them.
and this is
This is
something.
so weird. We're talking about tampons.
No, but no, we're talking about the. I look at it as we're talking about the actual,
Mental illness.
not so much
I'm
mental,
still,
not
no, no,
mental,
no.
no,
Hear
because
me
having
out.
a
I didn't
period
finish.
isn't mental illness.
No, 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 I didn't finish. As much as I feel like that should be just like that, as far as tampons should be, I feel mental health should be like that. I
Yeah,
feel like you should be able to go like you should be able to go to a doctor. They should have centers for it or clinics for it. It should be something that you shouldn't have to really pay for. But if you want like a really, really good doctor, someone who's very good at what they do, not somebody who's really basic, kind of like a public defender. You should kind of get a public defender kind of thing for mental health. There's somebody to talk to for a second. And if it doesn't work and you want better than what you're getting, you should pay for it, or your insurance should pay for it.
what happens to people that get public defenders?
Yeah, look, it works out like 99% of the time. It don't work out, but that 1% it helps. Okay, damn it.
It does.
Okay,
Yes, you are correct. You are correct. But when it comes to something, that's what I was saying. When it comes to some, I am at my core, I do believe in capitalism. I do believe that if you want something, you have to pay for it. Um, uh, the only reason why I say that is because, exactly as I said before, I am willing to pay someone for 100% of their ability. If someone is, because who's going to do it? Who name me one doctor that is going to
you
take.
do it the
Go ahead.
you do it the same way you do lawyers. You think those public defenders are want to be public defenders? I think some
And
places
it,
have to
you
do it.
are correct, and it shows. That's the reason why I say that.
Yeah,
It
I agree.
shows.
I agree.
They're
But let's
hat
say
they don't.
you do a good job, you have some good success with your patients. That's like something you put on your resume. And if you did that kind of thing, I think more people would do it. I think if you can use that kind of time as like, hey, look, I had this patient, yada yada yada. He had this problem. I documented it. We did a health journal on it. This is what happened. Or I don't know, maybe something like that where they could use it to benefit themselves in the future. I think more people would take it more seriously. Like if they got something out of it other than payment, I guess from the state, I think there would be something they could use. Like, okay, cool. I worked as a free mental health therapist
Yeah.
for the last 4 years for the state of so and so,
Yeah.
and that's something you can use on your resume that speaks highly about you.
Well, unfortunately, we live in a world where the wrong things get glorified. Where
True.
we live where entertainment is more paid for than than actual services rendered. Like where like me or you or anybody that works in some sort of field that is not so much glorified.
Yeah.
Working at a store or whatever is not is a service that a lot of people don't think about because all they know is that I'm walking into this place, I'm buying the thing that I want to buy, and other than that, I don't give a shit. But let let people. This is where my capitalism kind of wavers because I believe that the worker is in a very important cog in the machine. It's a very important cog. You take that cog out, the machine ceases to function properly.
I love how you talk about capitalism with the word capital is right behind your head.
I know, right? But
we just gonna throw that out there.
oh yeah, no. And as you can see over here, where's my?
Oh yeah, the belt's out there.
Yeah.
Mine is always right here. It's always right here.
Oh,
You
look
got it
how
right
look how
there.
nice that belt is. I'm
That's yeah.
afraid. I'm afraid to bend my belt
You mean
because
like the leather?
yeah, I don't think it's leather. I think it's like a cheap cardboard. And if I
I
bend
don't.
it, it's gonna fucking rip, and I don't want it to rip.
I don't know what it is, man. It just ain't what it was supposed to be.
I know. Oh
That's
no,
all
I
I
know that.
know.
I know that. But uh, but I believe that the worker is that now everybody can argue. Oh well, the person who has the business is taking the responsibility and assuming the risk. If the company doesn't work out, then the employees don't have to pay the money back. The company has to pay. Yes, you are correct. I'm not downplaying. This is where my capitalism kicks back in, where the person fronting the money to start assuming the risk of starting the business is a very important thing. But without workers, you have no means of production. You have no means of gaining a profit.
So with that being said, we were talking movies today. That whole writer strike,
Yeah, I know. We
you
got
know,
we got we keep
isn't
it way
isn't
off.
that? Oh, I know. I'll keep trying to bring us back.
Yeah.
Now, seeing movies that whole writer strike. That sounds like what that is, where the writers and the actors are the ones doing all the work, but
Yes.
the producers and these like executives are making all the money,
Making bank. Well, because they're also fronting the
fronting
millions of
all the money. Yes,
dollars to
yes, they're
make
the
the
one.
movies. Like
Right.
that's what there's a line that we haven't figured out yet. There's a happy medium that we just haven't figured out yet.
They need a collective bargaining agreement like the NFL players have. They do.
Well, they
The
do. They are
NFL is, they
they
really do. And then that money that they needs to be, I guess, better distributed between the workers and the grips and the makeup artists and the sound guys and the editors and those people who have to get up at like 4 in the morning to make these actors make this movie work. Those guys have to sit in the office for fucking 2 weeks watching the same movie over and over and over again
editing and
just to
shit like
edit
that.
it
Yeah.
down. Yeah, perfect. Getting the sound right and special effects artists having to get that scene perfect. Yes, everybody should be making tons and tons of
Yeah.
money. But if they're making tons and tons and tons of money, when is the that would be like you have to put $200 million into a film, but tell them you guys only have $80 million to
If
make this
they
movie
if they ever put
because
$200 million into a movie, that better be the best fucking movie I've ever seen.
okay, well, we'll do a more realistic number. They'll
I
put
feel like
a
20
hundred
million.
million dollars.
No, it's
No,
like
they
20.
put
You
no,
could do 20
no,
million. Yeah,
no.
you
They
could
put
easily get
way
20
more than
million.
that. No, brother, they pay Will Smith $20 million just to be in the movie. It's
Yeah.
like $200 million to make a film,
Is it?
dude.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
Yeah, it's up there because you got to pay your big actors at least $20 million just to be in the motherfucker, and then you still got to pay this director like $15 million just to direct the movie, and then he's gonna get all these other people and do it. That's why you have so many producers. Those producing credits are huge because it's fucking millionaires
Those
out
are the
there.
ones that produce the money. They're the
Yeah,
ones who.
they're like, hey, I got $20 million to put in this film. Cool. Pretty much, you bought Will Smith.
Yeah.
So
Like, sorry.
yeah, and then you can get people who aren't as big. So you'll have people like I don't know. Does Miley Cyrus act or something?
I
I
don't
don't
think I
really
don't.
know. I
All
feel
right.
like you can get her
Let me
for
see
like
if
500K. I
let,
feel
let,
like you can get.
let me see if I can do it. No, I really don't think she should.
She does sound like she's like having.
Yeah, that's just the
I
adventure.
gotta buy myself flowers. I love Miley Cyrus, but I don't like that song because I buy girls flowers. And
No.
now when I do, they're like, I gotta buy myself flowers. Okay, well,
Okay.
you know what?
Sweet.
I'm marrying the one girl who doesn't care if I buy her flowers or not. She don't like flowers, and I buy them anyway.
Well, that's just like a love language thing. That's all that is. It's like she's not big on receiving gifts, but she's probably good at she probably enjoys words of affirmation or quality time and shit like that.
Fuck that. It's because
Fuck that.
that
Hold on,
song.
dog. You just saying you don't
Hold
believe in the
on, hold on. Fuck that because that song is because that Hemsworth dude fucking was married to her and cheated on her and dedicated that "I Was Your Man" song by Bruno Mars to you. And that song that she wrote is like a counter to that song because he dedicated it to her. But what about all the other guys who have dedicated that song to girls? Granted, I haven't dedicated to the girl I'm with now, but you know, I've dedicated that song to girls before, and I meant it, you know. And
Yeah.
now that song, now there's a counter to it. It's literally like, you write a love song to a girl, and she sends back "No Scrubs" by TLC. It's like,
I'd be like,
whoa,
hmm,
whoa,
no shit.
okay, that's pretty fucked up. So that's why I don't like that song. So that's why I say fuck that.
Yeah.
Now, granted, if that's your love language, that's your love language. My
Yeah.
love language is weird, so it's
What is it?
super
Just
affectionate for like a day, and then I give you space, and then I get super affectionate maybe the
so
next week, and
physical.
then I give you
So
space.
no, physical touch is your thing. Like you like I
Yeah,
can you like physical touch.
but also like my space.
Yeah. So I mean, again, so you know, physical touch doesn't mean like you're constantly just like, hey,
Oh, I've seen couples
like,
like that.
fuck
I've
that,
seen that shit.
fuck that. I've
I've
saw that.
seen
I
it.
saw that in high school, and I'm good, dude. I don't.
Yeah, I've seen
The
couples like that now, and it's like, yo, you're like 42, bro. What are
yeah.
you doing?
And
Like,
they're
chill the
cut
fuck
like
out.
they're doing like the whole anime hallway fucking thing where they're just like
Oh,
constantly
I've seen it
late,
when it's worse. Like, he has to like be on her and follow her around, or
like a
she
pup.
can't
Oh
like
yeah, that's right. That is
or the opposite, where he can't do anything without her having to be there. Like, hey, me, we're gonna go outside and play cornhole. No, okay, cool. Well, I'm just gonna stand there and be awkward and not talk to anybody else but you. I've seen that too.
that's weird. It's so
That is
weird.
very weird. Yeah,
Like it
but
is.
hey, it's love language.
Yeah. Well, no, it's not necessarily a love language. That's someone who's who has separation anxiety, who can't be away from somebody.
True.
I've had a dog that was that way. Like I can't
I've
be out
seen
of
a
a
lot.
room for 5 minutes.
I've seen a lot of rom coms recently, and I've noticed that I've seen that kind of behavior in a couple of them where it's like, it seems like they do everything together. Like they eat Chinese food in the room in the same room every Thursday. It's exactly the same, and that
Well, having
I
a
guess that's fine and everything.
having a
That's a
date night.
routine.
Yeah, having a
No,
date routine.
that's a routine, and that's fine and everything. But I felt like if you guys can't do it, like you can't be apart from each other, like at all. Like, hey, I'm gonna have dinner at my friend's this Thursday.
Well,
Well, it's spaghetti night, and like, okay, well, tonight we're not gonna have spaghetti because I'm gonna go out with the
well, yeah.
guys tonight. And I
There's
just,
there's a thing. I mean, there's a thing about like it's just maintain like that's like for I know for me, it's just a relation like it's just a relationship. It's just a relationship
sure,
ritual that you go into, which is fine. Like there's not like the person, as long as both people are okay with that. You know, it's like, hey, I can't do this tonight. Like, all right, that's cool.
true. But I think if it's ever a thing like it becomes an issue. Like, hey, I'm gonna go out, and that one time you decide to go out, it's an issue. I've seen it in
it's a
rom
problem.
coms.
Yeah,
Like I watched Big Bang Theory, and that's not really a rom com, but it's kind of like a rom com show, I guess, comedy.
yeah.
And I watching that where they like are constantly like doing everything together. And do me and my girl do everything together pretty much. Um, I'm not being a hypocrite, but we kind of like hanging out with each other all the time.
Yeah.
She makes me laugh. So I like hanging out with my girl, but I see other things like, and I realize that now watching movies and stuff that I see relationships completely different than I did when I watched stuff back in the day, like Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yeah.
I watched Mrs. Doubtfire again, and at first I was like, wow, why would she divorce him? He was funny, he was great with the kids. Like I didn't understand. He seemed like a really good dad when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And now as I'm an adult, I'm like, oh, he's a fucking asshole. You had a motherfucking petting zoo at your apartment in the middle of the day. Like,
But it wasn't about him though. I think he was doing it more for the kids. He was eccentric.
no, 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 no. You need to rewatch that as an adult and think about it. How it was from her shoes? She goes to work all day. He gets fired all the time. And then not just does he get fired, he does these elaborate, super obnoxious things like having a fucking petting zoo
Yeah.
in the middle of the day with no warning, no planning, have all these kids over there. And then she said,
That
who's gonna come home and clean all up? Me.
that is
Let me tell you
frustrating.
something.
Yes.
Let me tell you
That is
something.
frustrating.
Let my wife do that one time. One time. All right. First off, I ain't cleaning the goddamn thing. Second off, you call me when it's done because I'm not.
I'm not
No,
coming
no,
home. I'm not gonna
not coming
come
home.
home.
Not coming home. I'm gonna grab all my shit and I'm gonna take a step out the door, and you tell me when this is all cleaned up, and then we'll talk about what's gonna happen. It's a fucking pet. There was a donkey or a
Yeah,
pony. There's a pony eating a
a
cake.
cake. Yeah,
Okay, so it's inside eating a cake. One drop of pony shit, I'm out.
in my house.
In my house,
In
on my
my
couch, it
house.
had nice white couches too. Can you imagine if just one goose or duck just takes a shit on that couch?
I'd be pissed. No, I, again.
Well,
So you are correct. I did not think about it that way.
yeah.
I did
So
not think about that.
he might have been a good dad to us kids, but in reality, he's a terrible fucking husband. He sure fucking was. So now I see things differently now. Now as an adult, I see how things really, really work.
Yeah.
Um, like that movie, what was it? Freaky Friday. You remember Freaky Friday?
Where they swap places and shit.
Swap
Jamie
bodies.
Lee Curtis and fucking
Yeah,
what's her name? Yeah.
yeah. And there were some things in that film like as a parent, you're not really ready for it. So if that ever happened to me as an adult now, and I had to be a kid again, the first time I'm a kid, let's say I switch bodies with I don't know my stepkids, like one of my stepdaughters, and now I'm a girl. The first time a guy hits on me, I'm gonna fight his ass. The first time
Better
some
back the
dude's like,
fuck
"Hey,
up, dog. Like,
yeah, bro,"
what?
like, hold on, cuz, who the fuck, what?
Who
Hey,
are
hold on
you?
now. I'm fist fighting dudes in the parking lot. I don't know why I'm doing it. I have no idea.
I
I'm
think it'd be
pissed
great.
off.
I think it'd be
This
great.
bra's tight.
I think it'd be great to be a kid again with an adult mentality. Like
Well, I don't think you think they could. I think they probably will remake Freaky Friday as far as
that would
movies
be
get remade and stuff.
honestly.
In this day and age, but I think they should make it and make it realistic. Like, don't make it a kids movie, make it like rated R. Like, let's put some real life shit in. Like, did that motherfucker just offer me cocaine? Your friends do cocaine. Like at the end of the movie, like I look at you completely different.
It's like, oh, you see where I'm coming from, and you see where
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You see, I don't do all that stuff. All my friends didn't expect me to. Yeah, but you're around a lot of shit that I'm not comfortable with you being around. Two of your friends are thoughts. I didn't know what the
Two
word
of your
thought meant,
friends have thought.
but I do
I
know. I
watched
know
them bust
now.
it down in the
Yeah.
cafeteria today. Like,
If they thought he on it like a motherfucker, I don't know. If you ever seen that? And who the hell is PP Cocaine? If you don't know who PP Cocaine is, brother, oh my god, he's a rapper.
is he?
She's quite fair skinned.
Oh, she.
Yeah,
I thought it was a
she's
he.
quite fair skinned, quite fair skinned. But she is a mixed girl, so she drops the N bomb quite a bit, and it is off putting because when I show her to my white friends, they just get real uncomfortable. Like, how did she get to say that?
Is
Like,
she?
and I
She's
can't.
a rap. I feel like I don't know. I feel like I
Oh
might
man,
know who
her
she is.
songs are about Super Thought 5000. I've only seen one music video, and it's called Crew Runner. You know what a crew runner
I
is,
know what a
don't you?
crew runner is. For
It's
those who
called
don't
Crew
know what a,
Runner.
for those who don't know what a crew runner is, she is she is knocking down the whole crew. She's
The
sleeping with
whole
you. She's
squad.
sleeping with your friend. She's sleeping with
Yep.
his friend. She
Yep.
everybody in your group, she's fucking.
Yep. If they're swinging it, she's catching it. So she's batting for all the teams.
She's for the
But
streets.
yes, yes. She is for like your street, your neighbor's street, all the streets. She's for the
Down
street.
the street, up the street.
Well, so then she raps about that, like getting gangbanged and shit. And it's like, yeah. I didn't know who she was, but I heard her song on TikTok. Now,
Ah,
I tried to tell parents, like, hey, it's on the TikTok, so you
it's
might
not.
want to be warned for it because you don't really know what these songs are. And like, bitch, shake some ass. No, no. Then you heard the fuck I said, bitch, shake some ass. La, and like I didn't know the song. I just remembered like I would see a TikTok and I'd be like, cool, this random like 40-year-old woman is shaking her butt to this song, trying to go viral. But sure, whatever. You're a mom, you need to sit the fuck down. But not all moms need to sit the fuck down. But you know who I'm talking about when I say that mom needs to sit the
Yeah.
fuck down.
Now there's some
Yeah,
moms that are just fucking dumb. That
yeah, yeah. So if you were a thought back in the day, I loved it back in the day when I was in school, and all the girls who were huge whores would have a son. His name's usually Aiden, It's like, hey, this is my whole world, and then not a thought anymore. But we all know how they were in high school. Like, hold on now, time out. I heard what you did. Okay, I remember that one time at that one truck stop. I heard what you did. So,
Well,
but
sometimes all it takes is having a kid to kind of knock your world into perspective, where you're just like,
sure,
oh shit,
sure,
like
sure. I just know a
I
lot of
applaud
girls
those
back in
moms.
the day.
Also, think
I applaud.
I applaud those moms, moms that they're having their fun, and then all of a sudden they have a kid and they realize like it's not about me anymore. Like I applaud you. Like okay, that's fantastic. That it's the moms like fucking what's her name? What's the mom that killed her kid?
Oh, you're talking about Casey Anthony?
It's the moms like Casey Anthony who get pregnant but then still think, "Well, I'm going to go out and have a fun time." Like no the fuck your life you're done for at least until your kid can watch himself or herself successfully, not just like, hey, I'm going out, take care of yourself. I'm
Yeah, don't
talking,
let nobody in. Keep the door
yeah,
locked.
no, nothing like that. But to a kid that's like 14, 15, 16 years old who knows to stay the fuck home and be like, well, mom's going out, so I'm just gonna, I left $20 on the thing for pizza. Like, all right, sweet, thanks, mom. Like,
Well, Kevin McAllister on Home Alone, he was like 10 and he was home alone.
this was a
He was
different
just
time.
fine.
This is a different time.
Oh yeah, the 90s were a little
This
more
is the
easier.
90s. This is
Yeah.
the 90s. 90s,
Yeah.
everything was. But
Upstate New York in the 90s, you know, you could do that. You can leave a 7-year-old at home during Christmas. Burglars will break in. He know what to do.
yeah, he take care of himself. He
You
keeps
think they
that.
could remake that?
Home Alone. Yes.
I don't think you could do it anymore.
All right. Okay. I'm gonna answer. I'm gonna stick with that. Yes. I'm gonna stick with yes. I think they could
I
redo
don't
it.
see how you could do it again. I don't see in this day and age how you could with technology now. The, they weren't a poor family. If it was a poor family, maybe. But them being like a upper middle class family, I don't see how they would have Alexa and all kinds of shit like doorbell
Yeah,
cams
the
and
movie would take like 5 minutes. Like
yeah, like
Alexa,
they were
Alexa,
realizing.
call the cops.
He would hear his mom's voice come over to Alexa at the first thing in the morning, like, "Fuck, get dressed.
Get
Somebody's coming.
in!
The Uber will be at the house to take you to the airport." So in
we
about 10 minutes,
we
like it
got
wouldn't work
we
anymore.
left your ticket at the front desk. Just go
Yeah.
there.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have somebody escort you to the front. Like, all right,
We'll see when you pull up. We'll look on the phone to see when you pull
yeah.
up to
Thanks,
the
mom.
airport.
That would be a
We'll
very.
call
You're
you and
so
walk you
hero.
through everything. Yeah, like there's snacks in your pack, but you know, it'd be a whole thing. We got you the whole in-flight movie. You're gonna be
So
good.
you are right. The movie would take like 5 minutes.
Yeah, it
Alexa,
wouldn't even
call
be
the
a thing.
cops. I gotta go catch a flight.
Yeah. Like some relative or neighbor would have came and got his ass. They wouldn't have had no. They wouldn't. First off, what I don't remember in Home Alone. Why did they never call the house?
Did they have cell phones?
They were in plenty of airports and
They did
diners and
have
all kinds of
payphones.
stuff.
You are correct.
Yeah, it was the '90s. We had plenty of payphones. We called the
Well,
house and tried
because
to
well,
call them.
remember they didn't know until they got on the flight.
Yeah, and then they got off the flight, and the whole rest of the movie for the parents was the mom trying to get back, hitchhiking with John Candy and shit, trying to get home to Kevin. You don't remember that?
She did not hitchhike
She absolutely hitchhiked with John
with
Candy.
John Candy.
Yeah, he was like a bowling guy. It was a bunch of guys that was with him. It was John Candy. I absolutely remember that part. They had a whole moment where he was trying to tell her, was they on a train or something?
Are you talking about planes, trains, and automobiles now?
No, I'm talking
There's
about Home Alone,
no,
brother.
no.
John Candy is in Home Alone, bro.
He is not in Home Alone.
Bro,
He is not
look
in
it
Home
up.
Alone.
Just go ahead. Take your time. Look it up. Look at the cast of Home Alone. You can be like, John Candy was in Home Alone.
We're looking
Go
it
ahead.
up.
Do what you got to
We
do.
are
Go
looking
ahead.
it up.
Go ahead, brother.
All
I've
right.
never seen planes, trains, and automobiles. So
John
I
Candy,
know I know
Home
that.
Alone.
Mm-hmm.
Oh fuck, he was.
Oh fuck, he was. Yeah, he was. They were like a traveling band or something, and she hitchhiked with them. So the rest of the film, his mom is trying to get back. Why the fuck did she never call the house? Like ever, I would have blew up the house, like called it every second of the day to see if he ever answered, to see if he was there.
I don't.
And then why did she not call the police to go to the house?
I don't remember. I swear to God, I don't remember any of that to where they started hitchhiking back. Because why the fuck didn't they just fly back home?
Because she couldn't catch a flight because of the snow. I remember that all the flights were grounded. She couldn't catch a flight. The rest of the family decided to enjoy their vacation, and she's going back for Kevin.
Okay. Well, they all came back home
No,
though.
yeah, no, they did all come home in the end because they took the flight. She didn't want to wait for the flight, so she hitchhiked back.
Oh God, I don't remember that movie at all.
And
Then.
John Candy her had a whole conversation about spending time with your kids and enjoying the time you have with your kids because that time could be over in no time.
Yeah, that's fair.
I remember that scene. I remember that scene. It was like a whole emotional scene of
You got
John
it. You're
Candy.
better than me because I don't.
Hey, and I'm a huge stoner, and I still remember that fucking movie. But yeah, no, I remember that part. So I never understood why they never called the house, never sent a neighbor. No, I do remember they said they couldn't call the neighbors because they were all on vacation. This is an upper middle class neighborhood. They all go on vacation for Christmas. I I I don't know what that's like, but
I don't know.
I don't know what
we
that
stayed. We
Richmond.
stayed home. The worst. The most we ever went to was like Jersey or
Do
something.
you know where they went? They went to Paris.
Oh.
That's the kind of money they
That's
had.
no. That's '90s money.
That's nice
'90s
money.
upper middle class could go to Paris.
Yeah.
Try going to fucking Paris now.
Yeah, and I heard it sucks. I saw a TikTok the other day where they said it smells like garbage,
Not. I'm not getting.
and
I'm
that
not.
all. It,
I'm not getting my information off this TikTok, man.
okay, well,
You
it
gotta.
was
You gotta
videos.
stop. You gotta
It
stop.
look. Not everything on TikTok is wrong. I know it's
But
fast and it's quick and it's trendy, but
you got. It's out of
I
context. Is the
saw it.
problem.
Okay, well, where that guy went in Paris, it was a bunch of graffiti. He was right there by that tower. You can't block that part. He sure
The
was.
Eiffel Tower, yeah. But
He was. He was right there. He was right there.
yeah, you could
He
go to.
said
You could
his.
go to.
He
You could go to
He said
fucking.
there's nothing to do there. He said the only thing to do there is to eat. That's the only thing to
Yeah,
do.
that's
And
why
I've heard that before.
you don't go to. You don't go to Paris for fucking the Eiffel Tower. You go
You
to.
go to eat.
No, you don't. You go. You go to Paris for a moment, and then you go to other parts of Paris. You don't, or other parts of France. It's more so.
Okay.
Yeah, go to France. Don't go to Paris. Going to
Okay, what
Paris
is
now.
there to do in France other than eat?
You got the French countryside. You got all the beautiful views, all the colors. You got wine. You have everything. Like you go there for
Okay,
an
that doesn't
experience.
sound like everything.
You
That
go,
sounds
but you
like
go for an
something.
experience. Like again,
If
it's
I went to like Italy, I'd love to see all that stuff. Now that sounds like
you
something
don't
I'd love
think
to
Italy
do.
is just as fucking dirty as Paris? Italy
I
is a
don't know.
big fucking city. Italy is a big fucking country, and it's got its shitty fucking moments, just like every major
Yeah,
fucking
but I
city
don't
has.
think what is I don't know what the capital of Italy is. I don't think their capital city would be bad.
I
Is Paris the
guarantee you it
capital?
would be bad. It's a
I guess
capital.
I look I look at DC and I go, well,
Yeah, it's a
know,
again.
kind of does
TikTok,
happen.
please, Keo, please stop watching videos from TikTok and basing stuff off of it because
I
it's
don't base anything off it. I just watch TikTok videos and I look at little things and I say, hey, this could be true. Not necessarily it would be it, but from where that person who was on that TikTok went to go see in Paris, well, everything he saw and his opinion of it was bad.
yeah.
Now,
So
granted, he saw a lot of garbage and he saw a lot of graffiti, and I say,
the
I look at
context,
DC,
the
I look at
context,
DC right now, and I say that could
yeah,
make sense.
yeah, the context of his video, yeah, I'm sure it made absolute sense for the context. But again, for anybody to take that video and go, "Wow, Paris is a dirty fucking place," like he went to a couple areas. That's it, and we're major cities. It's still a major city.
Yeah, I know, but you would think with all that tourism and whatnot, they would try not to see those kind of things. And I'm not really talking about the garbage because you don't know what that could be. But I was thinking about graffiti and stuff, and like
That's
vibrant
everywhere.
colors and stuff like that. I don't think that's everywhere, man. Because if you were somebody who didn't live in the states and you came to the states, I feel like there's so much to see and so much to do.
Exactly. That's the same. That is the same mentality that I think everybody should have when going to a different country. There's so much to see, so much to do. Don't go to a major city. Don't go to a big city.
Uh, I don't think so. Because if I went to like Australia, I went to Sydney. I think there's so much to see and so much to do, and you could be in that city and have so much to do. I think if I went to I don't know Japan and I went to Tokyo, no, their capital city is Osaka. I think if I went to Osaka and I just was there, I think I'd have so much to see and so much to do.
Yeah.
I just feel like when I looked at that video of France, I couldn't think of anything other to do that I've even heard of or looked up myself. that show that there's anything to do in France.
Well, you got tourism, so you go to the Eiffel Tower, you go to the
You go to Avatar.
Arc de Triomphe,
Yeah,
where
what's that museum there that they have all the art
the
at?
Louvre.
The Louvre.
Yeah, so there's lots to do. Like
I
food
feel
is,
like, but you do that in a day and you're done.
but food is, but again, but you're not just going to France just for Paris. That's the problem. People
You're
that go
supposed
to
to go there for culture.
yes, for culture, yes, absolutely. But you're not going to get culture in a big city because it's been overrun with capitalism. Like again, I mean that in a good way. It's just you got stores, you start to see like it's like, "Oh, I'm a New Yorker now because I went to 5th Avenue or Times Square." Like, bitch, you went there, you could go eat at a fucking TGI Fridays just like you could at home. Like that ain't
True.
that's not
I see
visiting.
what you're saying, but I feel like I couldn't think of a reason. Like France isn't on my list of places to go.
Yeah, it's not well mine is, but not for like Paris.
Yeah, I'm just
I want to
maybe
explore.
like
I want to explore France.
Normandy.
I'm also
Maybe I don't know.
say where?
Normandy, isn't Normandy in
Yeah,
France?
Normandy's in France, but I'm also going to go for other reasons. I'm going to go because of the Napoleon. I want to visit all the places that Napoleonic Wars took place in. I want to.
See, I think that's what it is. See, you have like destinations where you'd love to go, like the historical things you want to see. Let's say you were like somebody who just had a romantic dream of going to Paris. I don't think they'd have much fun. I think there's not a whole lot to do. I think we have romanticized just going instead of just saying like there's something to do there. Like when you say let's go to Rome, you want to see all that cool stuff. Yeah, museums and whatnot and food and culture, but you feel more culture. In France, I just don't feel like outside the Eiffel Tower and the Louvre, I don't know what else I do there.
Oh, well, you just got. Well, that just comes down to you. You got to learn more French history, more history
I
in
know a lot
general.
of French
Well,
history. I just
I'm
don't
just saying,
think.
but to find more things to do,
Yeah, you say
like
like the Napoleon. Yeah, that's cool, and I would go see that. I really would, but I don't see like a normal regular person wanting to go to the Napoleon Museum and the war stuff.
well, no,
I don't think
I'm not
they
going to a
would.
museum. I'm not going to a museum. I'm going
It's
to
like the
I'm going to
the
the
battlefields.
I'm going not just the battlefields. I'm going to the locations in general. I I enjoy. I love Napoleon. Napoleon was a, as far as I'm concerned, was a great individual. Like he had great dreams. He followed through with his dreams, and he was the first consul of France. Like he threw his dream was to be in power, and he fucking he conducted a successful coup and took over. Like for someone that's 5'5", like fuck yeah, dude, that's fucking dope. Like
Are you ready for his movie?
I've already seen his movie. It's called Waterloo.
No, they have the Napoleon movie coming
I
out.
know, but I've already seen that movie. It's called Waterloo.
Okay, well
Yeah.
this one's not gonna be the same. They remade it, bruh.
That's trust me. I'm hesitant about it because Waterloo
I think
was.
you should watch the trailer because I watched the
I've watched
trailer.
the
It looked
trailer.
pretty.
I
It looked
know.
pretty
No, no,
interesting.
no. I've watched the trailer. I've absolutely watched the trailer. I
Isn't
lo-
that Joaquin Phoenix
it is
who does it?
Joaquin Phoenix. Um, now, as long as so, as long as when they do the military stuff, as long as they really put forth his belief in artillery, then I think we'll be okay because Napoleon was an artillery, like he believed that's what won. He believed artillery won wars, won fights, and he was not wrong. But if they just downplay, like if they downplay if they downplay his shit, then it's gonna be a problem because the shit that he did was fucking fantastic. He was closer to a modern day conqueror than anybody has been.
Even more than Catherine the Great.
Modern day,
Okay, I just wanted to say her name, Catherine.
Catherine. But no, modern day, closer to our time than anything else. Because you remember, this took place in the 1700s. Napoleon took
Okay.
place in the 80s and 90s. So closer to a lot closer
It,
to the 1800s than we like, which is only what 400, like no, not 400, like 200 years. Like so 400 years ago, Napoleon was doing his thing. That's what I'm saying. He's a lot closer to modern day than anything else. But I enjoy. I know we went completely off of our movie shit, but
well, we are talking about a Napoleon movie.
yeah. So hopefully, again, I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it. I'm hoping to be surprised. I'm not gonna go in with like, oh yeah, fuck yeah, it's my boy Napoleon. I'm not gonna go in that way because the last thing I want to happen is be like, oh well, they didn't do any of their homework. They just took Napoleon and
Made a movie. Yeah,
made a movie about him.
they could do it. They pretty good.
Yeah.
You know, I
So
think there's a lot of movies that they should do. They don't do.
what
But
about movies that you think that they shouldn't do, that they should not have done? Period.
well, I don't think. Okay, so I'll say another way of saying that is movies that I think that came out that were just hot garbage, and we got a list of them. But I'm going to say first one I think that everybody was like really hyped up for that I thought was hot garbage when I watched it was Black Panther 2. I
Yeah, it was
love Black Panther 1.
yeah.
It was great.
No, Black Panther
But
Two
Black Panther 2 was
it's a money
it
grab.
it was a huge money grab. I feel somewhat that they
Placating off the death of Chadwick Boseman.
yeah, I think somewhat of that was that they kind of like they knew we all would go pay attention to the film just because of Chadwick. We were always waiting for part 2 because after part 1 came out and it was so good that we were like, cool, we need to when part 2 comes out it's going to be so much better. But then we had the unsuspected death of
Chadwick.
uh Chadwick Boseman, and it was a whole thing, and I think that they took that and they just decided to keep it pushing with something completely different. And like I think they decided to like make it some political ish thing. Like I didn't really think that I thought Namor being the bad guy was good, but I think they should have just recasted Black Panther. They should have really done it. The whole concept of they can't redo it because Chadwick was so good that they can't redo it, but here we are with the new Joker.
Yes, exactly.
Here
Yes.
we are with the new Superman. Like it just it feels like cool. You got your hero. Now shut the fuck up because this is all you're getting.
Yeah. Like, and it sucks, but again, that's what
I,
happens.
I do feel like that's what happened.
This is the reason why. This is the reason why. I know you said it already before, but Marvel needs to take a fucking break and touch some grass a little bit because they fucking they're pumping these BS movies out like Multiverse of Madness. Multiverse of Madness had moments where it was good, but it was fucking stupid. It was a stupid fucking movie.
I thought
Like,
Monty vs. was actually pretty good. That was
but
pretty good.
it's just a. I mean,
If you want to talk about bad Marvel films, I could. That's a whole other topic about the Marvel films I personally thought were really really
oh no,
bad.
just movies that weren't good. Like movies that you think movies that were garbage.
Uh, if we
I think.
could literally do a whole list of those just in Marvel films and DC
Oh no,
films
we're gonna
because.
do. We'll do our Marvel stuff at some point.
But
Yes,
I'll
but
stay out of Marvel now, and I'll say some movies that I thought were just really really bad that everybody else thought were great. That third Conjuring film. Everybody was so hyped up about it and talking about it and stuff,
it
and it
wasn't
was
good.
pretty
The
bad.
one that
Yeah,
just
it
came
was.
out like a while,
Yeah, that
not just came out, but a while, like
yeah,
a little bit
that
ago.
was pretty bad.
Yeah.
I didn't like Godzilla versus Kong. I thought that was
You didn't like
like
that one?
no, I thought it
No.
was good the first half of the film, and then it kind of dragged on and became a whole thing. I
Yeah.
think that was like it just dragged on too far for me. Um, it's not a movie that people think was really really good, and I was just like, eh. I'm trying to stay out. See, my whole thing is I'm trying to stay away from Marvel and
It's
DC films
tough.
because
It's tough, but
yeah,
there's so
because
many
I've
of
seen
them.
so many of them, and there's so many that come out, and oh my god, because that Wonder Woman 1984.
She was
Yeah,
trash, bro. That
God, man,
shit
you could
was
set that. They
bad.
could have just set that movie on fire. I could have watched some like a film burning for 2 hours and been just as fine.
And that would have been that would. It's like, oh, is this Wonder Woman?
Yeah, this is great. This fire should get an Oscar. Like, I swear to God.
No, movies that I guess more. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of myself. What like, because there
well,
are some. The problem here's what's going to happen. As soon as we stop recording, all these
oh yeah,
ideas are going to start running through
all
my
of them.
head. Like, oh
Should
yeah,
have
this
wrote it
movie was
down.
terrible. This movie was bad. Like,
Yeah.
so it sucks. I yeah, I'm blanking too. I think this is just something we got to work on. It's something we work
Oh
on
no
while
no
we're doing.
Renfield, that movie with
I haven't
Nicolas
watched it
Cage.
yet. I haven't
Yeah,
watched it yet.
okay. Well, don't just save your fucking time. Okay, look,
Yeah.
I never watched Dragon Ball Evolution, and how much of an anime
Yeah,
guy I am.
yeah.
Never watched Dragon Ball Evolution. A lot of those live action anime films I never watch. But save your time, brother. Just don't do it.
All right.
I'll tell you some movies that I have seen that I completely hated. The Ruin. Have
The
you ever seen The
Ruin.
Ruin?
I don't think so.
It's about these kids who go to like Brazil and they climb on top of this fucking pyramid that they weren't supposed to climb on, and the locals said don't do it. All the
Oh, and they
signs
keep
say
them
don't do
trapped
it.
on there.
And they keep them trapped up there. Then
What?
they
That
find
was.
out that the fucking ruin isn't alive, and that it like the spores of it will get in your skin and make you do shit and all kinds of stuff. And they were trying to keep people away from it. Yes, look, hear me out. The entire fucking film is great until the end, and that ruined the entire experience for me.
Yes.
The fact that if she had waited, if they had just waited one, not even a whole day, just wait a little while, the Swedish dudes would have showed up, and then they could have went and got help, and then they could have went and figured something out, like some kind of surgical thing or something shit like that, and figure out how to help them, and the world would have got involved. But instead, they ran off. She jumped in that jeep and drove away. The one dude had to die, like her boyfriend had to fucking die, and then the Swedish dude showed up like 10 minutes later.
Well, it's all about that's everybody just trying to live like the mist. Like
That's the
that's
miss
the.
shit.
Oh
Oh no!
no 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 no
What?
no no! No. Stop
No!
stop 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 stop! I fucked up. I probably shouldn't have said anything.
What?
There's a because of how good the ending The Mist is. It's even on record for people that people that made the movie, like even Stephen King has said, if you ruin the ending of that movie for anybody, you don't deserve to watch another movie.
Okay, first off, The Mist is so old, and that has
Doesn't
happened in
matter.
so many other films.
The ending is fucking like. If you've
Nah.
never watched The Mist, watch it. First off, anybody that is
Yeah, if you
listening,
ain't
if
never
you've
seen
never watched it,
spoiler alert, all that
no,
good
I'm
stuff.
not. I'm not spoiling anything. Please
Yeah.
don't say anything. I'll
Well,
delete
they're
this.
gonna
I'll
know
delete
now.
this entire episode if you
They
say
already kind of
anything.
know. Well, if they don't know, then they kind of know, and then they
They
should
know
just
that
go watch it.
there is a surprise ending. Yes, I don't
Yeah,
think there's nothing wrong with saying that
it's
there's
a
a surprise.
twist.
There's a
What a
twist
twist.
with a twist, but the ending of that movie is really
Well,
good. But
em-
it's everybody trying to live. Everybody
like
wants
the
to
Mist.
recreate that iconic moment of just like
Okay, well, I'll tell you what. When it comes to Mr. M. Night Shyamalan,
yeah,
there's a lot of his films that I feel that same exact way about.
really
The Visit,
the visitors.
Old. No, The Visit. Have you seen The Visit, where the two kids go visit their grandparents?
Ooh, I don't think so.
All right, well, I'm not gonna spoil that for you.
Yeah,
Spoiler
don't.
alert.
Yeah.
Um, uh, I don't like the Old. Have you seen Old?
Oh, I think so. Oh
I
yeah,
watch
yeah, yeah,
Old.
yeah, 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 yeah. Where they're on the island, yeah, or they're on the beach, whatever that was. Yeah.
Yeah, didn't like that one.
You
The
didn't
way
like
that
it?
one ended, man, the whole twist in the end,
It was
didn't
like,
like that
oh
one.
shit.
I actually thought the happening was great until
Yeah.
the ending. It just stopped.
Well, no, that was
Nothing happened. Nobody did anything. It just stopped.
it passed on.
Yeah,
It passed
trees
on.
and grass. It's like, all right, we good now.
I was like, we're straight.
Yeah,
Appreciate you, but it did a lot of damage. Like that
yeah.
short period of time, fuck some shit. Like again, that's what's I mean, as long as it was happening everywhere. If it was happening everywhere, then good. Like
It wasn't. It started happening in like New York and stuff first, and then in the end of the film, which is spoiler alert, at the end of the film, you find out that it's starting to happen again in Paris. And that was the next thing that happened. It was like, oh shit, it's in Paris now.
okay, good. It's continuing. Good. Yeah, those short period, those shit. I'm okay with stuff happening in short bursts everywhere.
Plus, the acting in that movie was way over the top.
It had Mark. It had Mark Wahlberg in it. What do you expect?
And nobody helped. Nobody. John Leguizamo's performance didn't help at all. It was just all
Oh,
like,
but you can't tell me it was creepy when the old woman like it was funny, but it still had a little bit of creepiness to it when the old woman came in front of the window and was just like I was like, whoa, that's fucking
nah.
like that's
That's
creepy.
not the part that got me. The only thing that would have made that movie very creepy to me is that scene when he looked up and the construction workers were walking off the buildings. That would have been like, okay, now I need therapy. I
I'm like,
absolutely
oh
need
shit,
therapy now. I need to go talk to somebody because that is going to haunt all of my dreams
that's
for the rest of my life.
oh,
So,
I would like to see The Ring redone.
See, they tried. They tried to keep remaking those films, and like The Grudge and The Ring are I feel like are both synonymous for Americans really trying to take Japanese horror films and doing them. Now,
Well, they did a
Japanese
good
horror
job with
film,
the ring. The
yeah, The
ring
Ring.
still scares the shit out. I can't watch the
Did you
ring.
see the last one?
No.
Okay. Watch the last one and then come back and say that same thing.
Oh no, no, I'm just
So,
talking about the ring, the first movie, The
and
Ring.
the first two, The Ring and The Ring
For
Two.
me, no,
The
just
Ring.
the first one because I did watch The Ring too, but The Ring, I cannot watch. It
Okay.
scared the shit out of me. I cannot watch that movie because it just scared the piss out of me. I was
I didn't
like,
get scared for The Ring. The
you
Ring was
didn't?
good. I thought it was a great. I thought the concept and everything was amazing. I thought it was great. I thought the whole little girl ghost thing was amazing coming through the TV. All that great effects and everything. But The Grudge got me.
Really? Oh no, The Grudge was
Oh
good too.
man,
The Grudge was
let me
good.
tell you this story, bro. Let
All
me tell you the
right.
story of The Grudge 2 for me. Okay, because
Oh,
I saw The
the wait, wait,
Grudge
wait. The
2,
Grudge or The Grudge Two? Which one?
The Grudge 2, because
Okay.
I saw The Grudge 2 before I saw The Grudge 1.
Mm.
Okay, let me explain the story, right? This is back in my heyday.
All right, I'm listening.
So I was hanging out with two of my buddies, and we were going to go to the movies. Now, you know me, I had to get baked before I go see a movie. It was like the ritual back in the day. So I would I would sit there, and I remember I got a fat ass blunt from my guy, and this is back when everybody smoked Dutches.
Yeah.
Okay, this
Yeah.
is Dutch territory.
I
So
remember. Yeah, yeah.
I show up
The
with the
good
fucking
days when everything was
good days
simpler.
when your bag had seeds in it. So $10 got you fucked up. So I got my L, and I remember I was sitting there in my buddy Matt's room, and I was
I
rolling
haven't
it up.
heard. Hold on, before you continue, I haven't heard anybody call it an L in fucking. You know how
Let me
good it
show
is.
my age.
You know how good it is to hear that. But
Yep.
continue. Sorry.
I was sitting there with my L, and I was like hanging out, and my buddy Ryan and Matt were there, and they decided that they were going to experiment and take Adderall and go watch a movie. And look, this is early in the day. This is back in the day when motherfuckers didn't know that you really shouldn't do
Adderall,
that.
of all
So
things,
they decided
Adderall.
these motherfuckers popped two Adderalls.
What the fuck?
Yep, they popped two Adderalls and didn't want any weed. They was like, "No, the weed's gonna bring me down." And I said, "Well, I'm going down. I'm not taking no fucking
Yeah, I'm not
Adderall.
going up. Fuck
I'm not
that.
popping no pills." So I sit there and I smoke, and I got baked, bro. Like stupid high. Like I was so high back in that day. I thought that the people at the movie theater knew I was high, and it was a big deal.
I would say
Like that's
one of my one of my favorite lines is from I forgot what album it was, but it was Future. He's like, "I'm so high, me and God dapping." I
oh yeah,
love
nah.
that line.
That wasn't Future. That was fucking Two Chains.
That was Two Chains.
I'm
You are
so
right. My
high,
bad.
me
Me
and
and God
God
dapping.
dapping.
I'm like, I love that. But yeah, go ahead. I'm
so
sorry.
so uh so I got blowed, and I'm like, I'm as my old friends would say, I'm zooted. I was so zooted that like I'm like smiling really hard. I'm really in the film, and weed is so fast. I got my little snacks, I got my drink. Now I'm a poor kid, so I spent majority of my money on the weed itself and the ticket. So I didn't really have a whole lot of snacks to bring me back down. So I think I had one, like I had a Sprite or something. That's all I got. And I'm sitting there sipping on my Sprite, and the movie starts, and I get through the credits, but that weed kicked in so hard that at some point my mind kind of forgot that I'm in the movies. All right, and I'm surrounded by people. All right, and I'm like in the movie. Like when I say I'm in the movie, you could have told me that the movie wasn't in front of me; it was around me, and I would have believed you.
Oh shit.
So I'm in the fucking film, and I'm like just really into this movie. Like I am into every little inch of the film. And man, all it took was that scene in the beginning where where she comes out the fucking ceiling of the closet at the very
Yeah.
beginning and scares the girl for the first time. That's when like I kind of forgot like shit, this bitch ain't about to come in the ceiling from behind me, and I'm in the very back of the theater, like way to the very back.
Yeah.
I'm like she's gonna come down behind me and I'm gonna die. Just I knew that that was gonna happen to me. So I'm watching the film, and then and like I was good for the most of the fact of the movie. I wasn't still scared at first, but there's a scene in the film where the girl goes to the counselor. And she says, um, "That house is evil. It killed my friend. It killed my other friend, and it's gonna kill me too. And she's like, no, we went in the house. We went there. We checked it out. There's nobody in the house. There's nothing in the house. It's just an old house. I don't know what you're talking about. Everything's fine. It's like, no, no, no. It killed my friend Michelle and it killed my friend Kyoku or Miyoku, whatever her name was, because it's in Japan. So, and the counselor goes, no. What are you talking about? They're right there. And then it does this like over the like halfway face over the
Oh
shoulder
yeah,
shot
yeah, yeah.
and then like shows them behind her, but they're blue now. And then it pans to the counselor on the other side of her head, and she's making this weird little sound. And
Yeah. Oh, dude. Fuck.
that shit fucked me up, man. I was just like, okay, cool, okay, this is just a movie.
Like, god damn. So,
I'm like, I'm all into it, freaking the fuck out, and I cut out the movie right, so the experiment's over now.
yeah.
Okay, so the movie's over. We're leaving, and I'm like, yo, that shit scared the fuck out of me, bro. Tell me what my two friends was like, bro. I was just itching for a cigarette the entire time. I don't even know what happened in that
you
movie. I just
fucked
kept
up.
thinking I need a fucking cigarette. I just really need to go outside and smoke a cigarette. I've been waiting all the like, dude. Wait a minute,
Because
you
you
don't
took
even smoke.
you took a fucking because you took fucking Adderall, dude. Like, who the fuck takes Adderall? You know what I'm gonna go do? I'm gonna take an upper before I go watch a movie. Like,
Yeah. So like I said, this is before they knew.
yeah,
They just trying to get
yeah.
yeah.
I
Before
mean,
we
at
knew.
least they found out.
Yeah, they found the hard way. But so that happened to me, but it scared me so bad that like for like 2 weeks straight, like I was in my head like, hold on now, because I hope that shit didn't follow me home now. Like I just like, the movie got to me. So I have like 2 weeks now. It took me having to tell myself that if she shows up, I'm gonna fuck her shit up.
Just
So,
two peas. Fucking papa.
like it's gonna be like
I'm gonna leave the
real
house. I'm
bad.
not even gonna fucking. I'm not gonna go. I'm gonna live on the streets from now on. I'm not gonna
Well, no, no.
fucking.
So when I like something that scares me, I start obsessing about it.
Yeah,
So I watched all the Japanese ones.
dude.
I sat there for like
That's what I was gonna get into. Fucking the Japanese horror movies.
a little different than American
They're
horror
fucking
films.
great. Because they're
I
not
wouldn't say
afraid to
they're
take chance.
great.
They're not afraid to take. I mean, but they're not. They're not terrible. By like Pulse. Did you ever
No,
watch
they're
Pulse?
not.
You?
Pulsu is really good. So is
Oh, dude.
Resurrection, and that's Korean, but that's so good. Um, I will tell you what. So I will tell you my major difference between American horror films and Japanese horror films, or just Asian horror films in general. In American horror films, they find a way to defeat the enemy. They find a way to beat the bad guy.
There's got to be a happy
They
ending. Yeah.
yeah, the heroes have to win in the end. In Japanese films, it's not untrue that the heroes find a way to win in the end. Either one or two things shall happen, and one of those things does happen in American films, where like in the end of the film, you think it's over, and the killer finds a way to come back and kill the hero in the end.
Yeah.
That happens in Japanese films, and it does happen in American films. But I
Yeah.
would notice about Japanese films is a lot of those films they just get away. They don't beat the bad guy. It's still terrorizing the whole world, but they got away,
It's like,
and that's the
yeah.
ending.
Not my
Like,
problem.
well,
Not my
yeah, it's
problem.
not happening to
I'm
me
out.
no
I'll see
more.
y'all later.
So it ain't happening to me, but it's happening to the rest of these motherfuckers. So, we're good
Like,
over
yeah, I
here
don't get.
on this island. We're fine,
All
but
I
the
can
city
tell.
is burning to the ground because it's a giant gaiju fucking terrorizing.
All I can tell you is don't go to that house. If you go to that
Yeah, yeah,
house, that you're on your own.
yeah.
Like, don't
We're
come.
not, we're not, we're not gonna do shit. We're not gonna put no signs in the yard. But if you know, you know. Don't go.
If you come to me and saying, well, Kelsey's dead, like, why? What happened? Well, we went in the house. I'm shutting the door in your
Yeah,
face.
told you not to
I'm
do
gonna
that.
tell you to get the fuck away from me. Like,
Like,
don't fucking come here because
like the Inner Pulse, for instance. In the Inner Pulse, in the American one, I can't remember how it happened in the Asian one, but in the American one, they just went to a dead zone.
yeah,
Yeah, they found a one dead zone in the middle of the fucking desert, and that's where they live. I was like, guess where you live now? Because
fuck
it took
that.
over the whole world. You live in a dead zone now until, I don't know, satellites crash, but eventually these things are going to launch nukes or some shit, and that's going to be it.
But now the Asian shit, dude, the Asian ones, fucking perfect. Like the the one that in Pulsu, the when home dude goes into that fucking apartment and you see that stain on the wall,
No, yeah.
and then it's like, oh, dude, I get chills from it. Like right now thinking about it, I keep looking at my camera, and you see where the corner of my wall is.
Yeah, the darkness.
No, not the darkness, but you just see the corner of where the kitchen is and shit like that.
Oh, yeah.
So to the left of the Capitals blanket,
Hmm.
I keep peeking there expecting to see
Just
something like
waiting.
staring at me. Like if
Yeah.
I saw that, Keo, this podcast would be over. This house would. I would tell my neighbors, and I would tell my neighbors to both my neighbors to the left of me, to get the fuck out of their houses because I'm burning. I'm currently burning my house down.
Yeah.
So
So the world's giant biggest spider had to go.
yes, but the part that got me the most in Polsu was when he went into that home dude when he went into homegirl's apartment after she'd been killed, or whatever it was that she whatever happened to her. And we're gonna say killed. Um, when he's in there, he sees the spot, and then all of a sudden, like, as some shit starts happening, but he needs to hide, and he gets behind the couch, and you see homegirl just like coming out like all wavy
Oh
and shit.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Whoo! And then he hides behind the couch, and all of a sudden you just see the hands come over,
Mm-hmm.
and then you see her head. I was like, I slept with the lights on. Like I went to
That's
bed.
not the scene. That's not the part that got me. In the English one, when she's in the laundry room,
Really?
yeah, and the laundry door just pops open, and all of a sudden, like those clothes start falling out. The lights are flickering and shit. And she goes to, like, look inside the laundry machine, and like six arms and two legs and a head comes out that motherfucker. Yeah, that part got me. There, no, no. I'll tell you a part in the Asian film, that movie Resurrection. It's a crazy film about this. It was a an apartment building that this dude had like a massive and crazy maniac slaughter fest. Like, he went and like killed all his neighbors and everybody in the building, kids, families, and he did it all with one knife.
Goddamn.
Like, he just knocked on people's doors, and when they were answering, he murdered them.
Hello.
It's pretty fucked up, yeah. And if you're in the hallway, he just ran up on you and got you. So it's pretty bad. And so what happened was they didn't take that. They took that hotel, that apartment building, and they didn't open it back up. They turned it.
How did that guy not get arrested? Like,
He killed himself.
oh, okay, never mind. I was about to say,
Killed
like,
himself.
he, oh, so he, oh,
Gets,
so he did a spree. He just fucking did
yeah.
it, and then off himself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yep.
I thought he did it over a period of time. Like,
Oh no, no. In that movie, the police do kill him.
okay, I was
The
about to
police
say,
show up and kill him.
yeah, because I was about to say, like, how does like, so everybody on this floor is dead except for.
Oh, it's not just the floor. He
this
kills
guy?
like people in the like library and everything. So he so they closed the place down. They reopen it as a like a museum s thing. It's like a library slash museum thing where people can go and see it for tours. And there's one girl, she works there, and she's like going around and whatnot, and she like looks up, like, she's in this library. This is the scene that got me. She's in the library, and she's putting books in for the library, like they're putting all the books in.
Yeah,
And she's like putting some books in, and she looks up, and then when she looks up behind the books, is
it's
a row,
behind
like,
her. Like,
oh no, 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 it's not behind her, it's in front of her.
oh,
It's
that's
like
what I mean, like behind the
17
books. Sorry.
people, 17 people, like staring back at her. And she like freaks out and runs and runs and runs to the other side of the library, and she like the lights are flickering and shit, so she like cowers behind some books. And man, like the books get pushed out the way, and it's like six arms grab her, and it's like, bruh, like that's.
I'm telling you, dude. Like, that's why.
I was like having nightmares tonight.
That's why I'll never not watch a horror movie, because some of them are good. Like, they're, don't get me wrong, there are bad ones.
Oh yeah, there's plenty of really bad ones. But then some are so bad they're good, like Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Yeah,
So
those
good.
become almost cult classics.
Yeah,
Where you're just
those are
like,
different.
like, all right. Oh,
Yeah.
speaking of movie that could be remade, I think today that would be fantastic is the movie that had Rowdy Piper in it. They Live.
Oh yeah, the one where he has to wear the glasses.
Dude,
to see
I
the
think,
aliens.
dude, today that movie would be fantastic.
I think if they made the day, they'll just pretty much remaking the thing.
I thought they did already.
No, they made a prequel to it, and
Oh.
everybody fucking dies. But
Well, yeah, that's
and that's a movie that I think they could remake. Honestly, I think they could
the
remake
thing.
the thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
or The Fly. They could remake The Fly.
see. The problem is I never watched The Fly. I haven't seen it.
Mm.
It's not that I haven't avoided it. I just haven't watched
This
it.
just never came across.
Yeah, it just never came up.
I
You
watched
always
it.
hear things. I'm melting. Like, I know things about The Fly, but I never like. It's never one of those things.
Nah,
that
I
piques-
watched it when Matt had it. Matt had it on. We had all those movies.
Yeah.
We used to go over there back in there. We just watched movies. I watched The Fly.
Yeah,
I also watched Blood In, Blood Out, and that movie is
Blood In,
fucking
Blood
great.
Out's a good movie.
That's a fucking great movie.
That's a good movie.
But yeah, there's a lot of good, like, horror films are just different because there are some that are really scary, and then there's some that people say are scary and they're not fucking
Yeah.
scary. Like Poltergeist wasn't scary to me. Then granted, if that happened, that'd be pretty scary.
Yeah, but
But
no,
so would The Gate. You ever seen The Gate?
I don't think so.
About the little boy who opens the gate to hell,
No,
and like he has an eye in his hand and shit like that.
I never
Okay.
watched it.
It's an '80s film, and I remember I wasn't supposed to watch it, but I accidentally did. There's a lot of movies like that. There's a movie called Thank God It's Friday, and I watched that. It's a really, really old fucking film, and the
Yeah.
only reason I watched that movie is because my mom and dad had the soundtrack, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?" That's how I watched Popeye with Robert Williams. I didn't
Oh
even
yeah.
know that movie existed until I saw this. My parents had the soundtrack, and I was like, "The fuck is this vinyl?"
I guess Popeye.
Popeye. And I remember I was like, I never even liked the vinyl. Like the music sucked to me, but I was like, I kind of want to see this
Yeah,
movie.
I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah. Same thing. The Princess Bride. Same thing. I didn't know anything about that movie until my
Oh,
brother had like the lunchbox or something, and
it's a good
I was
movie.
like, what the fuck is this? And then I watched it.
It's a good movie. I got the book.
Yeah. I
Pick up the
never saw the
Princess.
read the book. I definitely remember
Oh,
my name is Otto Montoya.
my name.
You
My,
killed
my
my
name is
father for
Inigo.
today.
Inigo Montoya.
Yeah.
I am looking for the six-fingered man.
You killed my father. Prepare to die.
Prepare to die. What would you say to the six-fingered man? My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
Prepare to die.
Mandy
Yeah.
Patinkin. Mandy Patinkin is
You
a
think
good
they could
actor.
remake that?
I wouldn't want him to.
That's
That
one of
that
those
that
don't
that that
remake.
that's listed under do not remake.
I feel that way about Little
DNR.
Shop of Horror. Don't remake Little Shop of Horror. It's
Yeah.
perfect the way it is.
Yeah. I mean, well, so if we're being completely honest, the thing is for me something that should be labeled under DNR. If they remade it, I would support it. I would watch it. I would
Okay.
I would pay money to go see it. But if it was bad, I'd be very vocal about people not seeing it. I would ruin endings. I would give spoiler alerts without giving spoiler alert warning. I'd just be like,
Yeah.
no, like don't watch this movie. It's a waste of time. It's something that should have never been redone. If you choose to watch it, this is the ending. I'm going to tell it to you because I don't want you supporting that movie. It's the same. I feel the same way about supporting stuff that I do about certain video games. Like the way the which is another thing we'll get into. I'm just gonna graze the surface of it real fast.
Okay.
Of the way the state of video games the way they are now is fucking terrible. Not all games, but a lot of the games that I come to have enjoyed have been ruined now because of free to play microtransactions and all that other good shit. But it's just like there was a video a clip that I saw where it said 2K should be a free to play game. If you're going to include microtransactions, it should be a free to play game. I should not have to drop $60 on
Yeah.
2K23 and then still have to make purchases and shit. That's just
Yeah.
what that is. Like
We'll
if
get into that because I
yeah,
have some comments about that, but
yeah,
I'll save that for another day.
yeah,
So I do want to have one last thought
yeah,
about some of these movies. My last thought would be there are certain movies out there that should deserve some remakes.
yeah.
And I think like Nightmare on Elm Street should get a great remake. I
What
think
is
they
it?
should really Nightmare on Elm Street. I
Yeah.
truly think that the one that they put out trying to make him seem like a pedophile, which we already knew he was
Which
a
he was a
pedophile, but
pedophile.
we already knew that. That
Yeah.
wasn't a secret. That wasn't like something that, I felt like they kind of humanized him too much in that film. Like I didn't need a great backstory about Freddy Krueger. I really didn't. I just needed you to, because I kind of already know the backstory if you watched all the other ones. So
Yeah.
let's just make a really scary film. I think they should just make it fucking scary.
Yeah.
Like let's just really put some oomph into it of just terrorizing people with this thing. Now it don't have to be extremely gory. It doesn't have a million jump scares in it. I feel like, but they can mix a lot of that good stuff together and make a good scary film. Like, but it doesn't need a whole lot of explanation. That's the one thing about Freddy Krueger I feel like we really didn't need. You already have the ability to have dreams that could be anything. I think the problem with the original Freddy Kruegers was the first two were very scary, and then they kind of made it comedic, kind of like a Sam Raimi film, but it's the Wes Craven version of that.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be like it's gonna have a lot of terrorizing things in it, but they're gonna be funny.
Yeah.
Like, and that's why I think what they went wrong with Freddy Krueger was making him funny.
Would you still have the same person play
Wes
Freddy?
Craven? I
No,
mean,
no, no.
you talk about
The dude from The Watchmen.
yeah.
Would you still have him?
Oh
I
yeah.
would.
Personally, I didn't think he was the greatest candidate to be Freddy
Really?
Krueger. I think he did a fine job for what he was given.
Yeah.
But you're looking at what Robert England did for so long, And
Again, it's a remake, so
yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
have to exclude
But
Robert England.
you're gonna compare it to him no matter what. That's the same thing we would do with every Joker, every Batman, every Superman. Every time there's a re-recording role that some other actor will do, you're always gonna compare it to the person who did it before him.
They could come out with
And
they could come out with real quick. They could come out with a new Joker as long as it's not Jared Leto.
I don't hate Jared Leto's
I don't hate
Jared
Jared Leto
Leto's.
at all. Jared Leto as the Joker
I don't hate his Joker.
can jump off
Don't
a
hate his
bridge. I
Joker.
don't need him.
I think it's a C plus Joker.
C plus. I see.
C plus.
I'm more in the D's, but
I think that he took his own little spin to it. I don't think that you really could do much more with that character other than what Heath Ledger did. I do think Jack Nicholson's Joker is the best Joker of all time
yeah,
because of
that
what
was a
he
really
had
good
to
one.
work with.
That was really.
I
Oh,
think he is the best Joker.
you also have what the older Adam West
Older one.
Batman's. What the
Yeah,
hell was
yeah.
his name? I can't remember what his name was, but he was
Can't remember his name either.
a
He was
very
good.
good Joker.
He was good for what he did, but I think Jack Nicholson's the best one because he did employ that whole kookiness.
The best Joker.
Yeah, I think he's
You think he was the best Joker?
In my opinion, no. Honestly, it's Mark Hamill being the animated Joker is the best Joker.
Nah,
I'm sorry.
no.
His voice, that laugh, that ability to take that cartoonish, funny character and still make him dark and thought provoking. I do think he did a great job. Like just the way he was chaotic, but he seemed like he had a purpose.
Yeah,
Like, his whole purpose was torturing Batman, and that was just his whole purpose. It wasn't, and that made him chaotic. But he still was like a crime boss at the same time. That's what I didn't like about Heath Ledger's Joker is that they took the whole crime boss aspect out of it. The Joker's a psychopath and messed up in the head, but he's still like an underground crime boss. He has his own goons, he has his
yeah.
own gang. He has henchmen and shit like that. Like, and this Joker didn't have all that. He had a moment to have all that, and then it was kind of like, yeah, I'm gonna take all the gangs by being chaotic. Okay, cool, but one man by himself, the Joker not having the whole Joker gang, it's kind of like not as good as I will want it to be.
Yeah.
Even in the newer Joker films, you saw where he was getting the Joker gang, like the people who also wear clown masks who were terrorizing the city too.
Yeah.
He was getting that.
Yeah.
So I felt like that was more that feels more human, I guess. You'll get followers if you do it. The other him not having followers, him just being super chaotic and just out there terrorizing the city by himself is like a domestic terrorist, as we talked about earlier. Which I have a comment I thought about. The reason that I feel like now it's more domestic terrorist is because it's your fucking turn, bro. It's been everybody else. It's your fucking turn.
Yeah.
And if you want to know when it's going to be black people's turn, they already did that. Have you not seen Birth of a Nation? They made us the villain. Okay, they already did that. So it's your fucking turn, bro. They just need to make clean cut white dudes the villain. It's your turn. I'm sorry.
We're not.
You had your fun.
We're the saviors. What are you talking about?
Okay.
We're the
Yeah. But yeah, it's just your turn, bro. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It seems like that now, but yeah, they went through everybody else first. We went through Russians and English people.
I think we need more Asians. We need more Asian villains.
You need more Asian villains. Okay, yeah. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, we need to include everybody. So a couple more Asian terrorists that's not Kim Jong Il or some shit that we do.
You're gonna sit here and tell me that we didn't have our turn when Birth of a Nation first came out?
Y'all were the heroes in that film.
No, we were portrayed as the heroes, but were we actually the heroes?
Yeah,
that's we were not the heroes.
That's not the point.
We were not the heroes.
That is not the agenda of that film. That is not how that worked out. All right, I seen the Beast of No Nation, and that still made y'all kind of look. Yeah, y'all weren't really in that film too much.
Yeah, no, but that was about a completely different country. That was about child soldiers, like
yeah. As far as America goes, yeah.
Now, if there was a white guy running now, minus Lawrence of Arabia, but if there was a fucking white guy running around fucking Africa recruiting children soldiers, then yeah, that's you obviously you got to be a bad guy. Which, not gonna lie,
I've seen Blood Diamond.
I've seen Blood Diamond, but I would absolutely watch a movie where a white guy is running around recruiting children soldiers and is being portrayed as a villain. I would absolutely watch that movie. I'm always about. I am always about.
I've seen that movie.
What Beast of
No. A white guy recruiting children to be soldiers. I feel like I've seen that somewhere. Like the Warriors or some shit. I've seen.
If you have, tell me because I haven't.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen that movie.
But I'm all about creative. Like I'm all about give me. I'm willing to take a chance on a movie that has not been remade, is not based off of a movie from back in the day, like because that's been my one big surprise is that movies have been made now that they're being made that I think are new, but come to find out have been remade from a movie that everybody has forgotten about from like the 40s and 50s, and I'm like
So you wouldn't watch a remake of Shazam?
of Shazam, like Kazam or Shazam.
Oh, Kazam. I keep seeing. I've always done that. I know it's not a real film. Sinbad did not do. Apparently, he never did a movie called Shazam
Yeah, that
where
was
he was a genie. I swear Sinbad did do that film,
it
but
was
they say it never
it was
happened.
Shaq, right?
No, no. Shaq is Kazam, but
Yeah.
Shazam is Sinbad, and they say that movie never came out. But I swear I've seen it.
Oh, that whole fucking like Mandela effect thing or whatever.
Look, I
Like
believe it. I swear I've seen that film. I swear I sat down and it was a little
I've
kid.
seen movies with what's his name in it with Sinbad in it. Like
And he was a genie. He kept like disappearing and reappearing and doing shit. But
it
they
might
say
not have been
it's
called
Shrek.
it might not have been called Shazam. It might have been something. I think he has been a genie, but I don't think it was just called Shazam. I think it might have been called
And they said it never happened.
well,
They said it never happened. He
again,
said he's never played a genie in a
the
movie.
internet is an evil place. They'll fucking gaslight the shit out of you.
Yeah, they sure
You
fucking
got to do
will.
your own research. That's the reason why I'm a big proponent. If a friend ever comes to me and says, did you hear about this? Like, did you hear about this weird quirky fact?" I'm like, where did you get that from?" And they was like, "Oh, it was on Facebook."
Yeah, social media is pretty shitty when it comes to like actual facts. That's why they have
Just like
fact checking,
this,
but fact checking is bullshit. So
you know this whole thing.
the white power thing.
That is not white power.
It's okay.
It's a-okay.
It's okay
This
that you like. It's
this
okay
came
that you like white
this came
power.
from 4chan. This came from the internet. Redditors are posters on 4chan did this, and we're like, "Oh, that's white. Yeah, of course that means white power." And it fucking spread. And it
Well,
spread.
what if for somebody it does that?
It might to somebody. It might. Who knows?
Yeah, you never know, man.
But the original joke came from 4chan,
It's
and
like glizzies, man.
it's like Lizzie's. It's a fucking.
Like, when do we start calling hot dogs glizzies?
The second young people started creating their own terminology, like that's which is I'm fine with. It's just it's funny, like working
I'm
with.
gonna call them glizzies, bro.
I'm not gonna call them
Just put the
glizzy.
glizzy in your mouth like that. No ketchup, bro.
I'm gonna call them a hot dog. They're fucking dogs. Like hey,
Glizzy, son.
I'm not calling them a glizzy. I'm not fucking 22 years old. Like I'm not gonna call him a glizzy.
You be gobbling them glizzy.
Call me Glizzy Goblin. You know,
Glizzy goblin, son.
the Glizzy Gobbler. But
no ketchup, no lube.
go dry, dog. Just go
Dry dog in it.
Calling the 4th of July Nathan's Glizzy Championship.
Nathan's son.
Hey,
Nathan's tattoo across your belly.
Nathan's have some good hot dogs. Thuman's.
I like Armor, so that's just me. I don't think they even make those anymore, but I like Armor.
No, they still do. They're still there. I see them at Food Line.
Okay.
Armor, that weird red.
Nah, I'm in the black label. They like Armor hot dogs, and they're right next to Ballpark or some shit like that.
Thuman's. Now, a lot of people haven't heard of Thuman's hot dogs. Thuman's hot dogs it's a northern thing.
Okay, because I like Hebrew Nationals. Hebrew Nationals are pretty good too.
Like again, the name brand stuff, Ballpark, Hebrew, fucking.
Gwaltney. I like Gwaltney hot dogs.
Yeah, Gwaltney's, like those are good, but Thuman's don't come like they're not sold. Like you have to order these hot dogs essentially like offline to get these kind of hot dogs, because unless you're up north, then you can find them a lot easier. But Thuman's, oh my god, dude, they're fucking solid.
That's sounds like a sponsorship. We're sponsored
by
Thuman's.
Thuman's hot. So that's something I do kind of want to start doing though.
Getting sponsors.
No, I want to create. Obviously, we're not going to get sponsored until we have a lot of people. But
Yeah.
I want to start creating our own. Like, I want to do our own sponsors. Like, what we'll do is like sit around and think about like a restaurant that you really like in your area.
Like coming down to Eventually,
We're gonna have a restaurant.
Eventually, we'll get your food to you.
When is our So the whole premise behind Eventuallys is to, while you're sitting there, then like, man.
When am I getting my food?
When am I getting my? The second you say that, is when your food
Eventually.
is the second you say that is when your food comes out. Or if you have like, excuse me, where's my food? Eventually, it'll be
Yeah.
ready. Eventually,
Eventually. Yeah.
but no, that's
Do
one
you know
thing.
when those crab cakes are coming out? Eventually.
Eventually, but no. So I liked. I mean, so we're going. I think this was a good episode. I liked
Yeah.
it.
You got a final thought for everybody?
Final thought: stay in school, don't do drugs.
My final thought is go watch The Mist so we can talk about it.
Yes, go watch The Mist.
Go watch
As
The
soon
Mist
as you watch The Mist, start
so we can
commenting.
talk. Yep.
Comment underneath.
I watched it
Watched it. Yep, just comment. Watched it. Seen it.
so we can
Seen
fucking
it.
talk
Put
about
put
it.
in. I seen it.
Because I couldn't. I just like three movies I couldn't talk about because they're just like it to
Yeah,
me,
yeah.
and I don't
Don't
want to talk
like by
about it.
all means do like
We'll do it some other time.
I'll never ruin it. I'm not.
No,
That's.
there's too many movies just like it though.
Oh no, just The Mist. I'm not gonna ruin. I will never. I'm not gonna ruin The Mist.
If
I'm
you
not.
ruined any of these other films, you
I'll,
like
that's fine.
you just
They
okay.
don't have. They don't have the ending The Mist has.
Okay,
That's all I'm
they're
saying.
very close to it.
It could be very close, but they're not The
Okay.
Mist. Um, if you haven't already, check out our channel.
Yep.
Shoot a like. It helps us out.
Please subscribe.
Something.
Scribbles. Yep.
Something. It's free. Doesn't cost anything.
Yep.
Helps us
One
out.
click
Supports
away.
us. We're gonna get a community going here soon. We're gonna try to get something up on like Instagram, Twitter. We'll set up a YouTube community as well. Just something for y'all to post stuff on, or you can check us out. Comment under our videos if there's something that you want us to ever talk
Yeah.
about in a future episode. But
Let us know if you want a movie that you think they shouldn't remake, a movie they should remake, or a movie that you think just came out recently that was pretty bad that everybody seemed to like.
let us know. But all right, see ya.
Alrighty, guys.